Yeah, buddy, free all the guys. Music. Hey, Karen, can we get that music going? Music, please. Hey, y'all, please take this time to hit that like button. Please smash that like button, drop some comments. Let the algorithm hit them. Let the algorithm hit them, please. Come on, Karen, get off the phone and let's get this Self Love Show on the road.
Love Show, giving you more than vitamins and minerals. Food for your soul, information and plans integral to making your mind grow. With more growth and development, BS is irrelevant to the intelligent. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is what we represent.
It's the Self Love Show.
The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. We do it for the people. The Self Love Show. It's the Self Love Show. It's the Self Love Show. To expose it no equal. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. 3 wordsmith 9 mil. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. You know how the story goes. It's the Self Love Show.
Hey, y'all heard the man? It's the Self Love Show. The views expressed in today's pod are those of the host, guests, and are not necessarily reflective of TATN, ESPN, or any affiliates. Welcome. I'm really excited about this content today, y'all. Mind blowing. Welcome to another enriching episode of the Self Love Show on This Ain't That Network, or as we affectionately call it, at TATN. This is a spot where we take extremely, thank you, Karen. This is a spot where we take extremely deep dives into the intersections of your mind, your body, your spirit, your consciousness, and culture. I'm one of the co-hosts, 9 Millie. All praise to the ancestors, the Most High and Supreme Most High. And last but most definitely not least, my beloved Earth, Mama Sky, rest in peace. I feel you every moment. Tonight, we unravel the mysteries of the sleeping mind and explore the deeper hidden layers of what dreams might mean. Science tells us unproven theories of what dreams are. Many believe dreams may be much bigger than what we've been told. Could the strange, vivid experiences we encounter while sleeping be more than just simple subconscious? The hell? Could the strange, vivid experiences we encounter while sleeping be more than simple subconscious reality? Throughout his story, dreams have been created with scientific breakthroughs. You know, it's I before E except for after C. But then when I look at the word science, that whole thing doesn't work. That being said, throughout history, dreams have been credited with scientific breakthroughs, artistic visions, and philosophical revelations. Some of humanity's greatest ideas may have emerged from within the dream state, and we'll unpack who those individuals are. But what about fringe theories? Claims that dreams allow communication with unknown entities and such. We'll explore these possibilities and how they challenge traditional views of your consciousness. Tonight's episode, we're going to journey beyond science and dive into the forgotten, strange, and unexplained aspects of dreaming. Are we merely passive observers, or are our minds constructing entire worlds? Could our dreams be influencing our reality in ways we don't fully understand? So whether you're a skeptic or a believer, Dreams Decoded invites you to rethink the nature of dreaming, what it reveals about you, and perhaps even what hides in the shadows. Get ready to step beyond the veil and let's decode the unseen. So whip out your self-love vision and your 10 hats, okay? This is the Self Love Show, and this is the revolution. And the revolution will not be on YouTube, however. These are lessons, not lectures. We're live in living color on Tuesday, 5/27/2025 at about 7:15 in Iraq. And as always, you cats can be anywhere in this spectacular, magnanimous, beautiful, perfect universe. But thankfully, we all chose to be right here together. Here together. Bear down, Shot Town, bear down, what down, brother Wordsmith. What you manifesting today, sir?
Love. Man, you know me. I'm manifesting love. What you manifest?
Manifesting this cat gift in front of the microphone.
She's showing love.
Yeah, 100%. Love, bro. Pure, unfiltered, unfettered. Some say, not harsh. You know what I mean? Sometimes I take those gloves off.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Others say tough. But I can assure you it's self-love just the same, good brother.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
Hey, what's been going on in Iraq since in the rack up since we last connoitered?
Man, I worked this show at the Mexican Arts Museum. It was called Stomp and Rhythm, and it was some tap dancing, some African dance, some traditional Mexican dance, some flamenco, and it was an Indian dancer as well. Outstanding, man. Outstanding.
Man, I bet the vibes were incredible.
Oh man. Ooh-wee. And it's first time in a while I had to set up a whole sound system.
How long did it take you there, fella?
About 40 minutes.
Nice. I'm sure the sound was supreme too.
Oh yeah, it was very good. The room sounded nice itself. So
really must have
yes.
had some good what do you call that?
Acoustics.
Insulation in there, made it for better acoustics, probably.
Well, the room was acoustically treated.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
okay.
They put a computer in there and all the bouncing spots and all of that, according to the science.
Well, I'm gonna
stuff on the wall.
I'm gonna do the same thing here. They got pictures, right? But they're padded. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you can get a picture. It might be Malcolm X, but it's got that cushion, that studio cushion in it.
Yeah.
And you could decorate a room with it, and then it'll create at least some acoustic value.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. As they say, keep on pushing. Keep on pushing. All right, y'all. What to expect on today's The Self Love Show? We always kick it off with the quote of the day. Your mind is off on a different part. We started out with the quote of the day. All right. And then we have our more growth and development video. That is the platform. Then we hop to Tattoo Tyranny. We have found 12 pigging again. Stop the pigging. If you're a member of law enforcement, stop the pigging. Pigging is crime. And if you enforce crime, then you should arrest the pigs. Okay? Otherwise, you're a hypocrite. And then I don't respect you or the entire system. Do you understand? And then we have our dome teaser. Your mind is awful if you waste it. Don't let it lay fallow. So there's a riddle pinned in the chat. Brother Wordsmith has already solved it. He'll give you the answer at the end of the show. But it's always better if you go ahead and give it a try. Type your guess in the chat, please, and then we can be able to tell you if you're warm, if you're cold, you know what I mean? And then today's topic, dreams decoded. We're going there. Please take the time to hit that like button. Drop a comment. I mean, for the love of Pete, drop a comment, please. And then we close it out with my personal favorite part of the whole show, and that's where this brother, he's going to summarize tonight's show as he does week after week, pulling stuff straight from the ether and out of his heart. And then he's going to, push it out there for us to absorb. And then it's going to go back to the ether. It's always a work of genius. You guys stay around so you can get into Brother Wordsmith's mind's eye, so to speak. But before we get started, bro, you got any announcements out there?
Yes, yes, yes. You already know. Midwest Festivals presents Ancestor Echo.
Echoes. Echo.
Echo.
Oh, that's tight. Hold on, back up. You can't see
Echo.
it. There it is. That is hot, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's tight. I need to get some of that swag. How much that
Yes,
swag
sir.
going for?
I'm not sure. To be perfectly honest, it's a decent price for the quality. It's very quality shirt too. This is not like no cheap
Yeah,
t-shirt.
that I could tell that could be a good
Yeah,
fundraiser too, bro.
yeah. And they're available on the website. So go to the
Oh,
website
they are.
and
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yes. Go to the website, check it out, and get your tickets, get your swag. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's a great experience. I'm telling you. People that come are changed forever.
And I can tell you personally, I agree with that statement. I endorse that statement 1,000,000%. Come out, have a great time. And it's important that we support one another endeavors. We like to talk about the pink stink, but we're so quick to just drop our green for the pink stink and go here, go there, do this and that. Give it your try, give it your try. Matriculate some of that money with the peoples.
Yeah, the link is in the chat. Hit it. Telling you, it's worth it. Best believe. That's for sure.
100 million trillion percent, 100 million trillion% on that. Yeah, bro. We're going to Las Vegas at September 28th weekend. The Bears.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my wife's family gonna be out there. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I probably might just do some parking lot pimping because those tickets are up, 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 up. So I might go to Dre crib and watch the game if he ain't working.
Right.
Hmm.
That'll be sweet.
You know what I'm saying? Watch the game, man, where I can go crazy. Bear down, y'all. Bear down. So anybody out there, man, September 28th, hop on the show. Come to Las Vegas, and half of the Self Love Show will be there. All right. And y'all get checked up. Make sure you do your annuals, man. If anything needs to be caught, catch that early, and that way you can start going in there and healing yourself. Um, and stop the violence. All right. Now this is an interactive show. So I know we all have dreams. Do you remember your dreams? Have dreams ever given you inspiration? Have you ever woke up with an answer? These are lessons, not lectures. We want to hear from you guys. That's what it's all about. Getting these data sets for our culture. Midwest Festivals presents Ancestral Echoes, y'all. That link is in the chat. Click on that link and support. If you can't go and you have the wherewithal and the money, someone who will be interested in something like this. Maybe you can pay on their behalf, and then you'll get that back 9 or 10-fold from the universe. Consider that. And then we got Tay Mills Aesthetics, my lovely better half. She's a multicultural skin, body, and weight loss pro. You can I'll put that link in the chat. You can reach her at www.taymillsaesthetics.com. So you find yourself in sunny Southern California, maybe you need a facial or something, pull up. Tell them the Self Love Show sent you. Bella B Designs 365 at Gmail. All right. We're putting that link in the chat as well. If you need some swag, personalized t-shirts, sweatshirts, stuff like that. Bella B does fantastic work. Support that sister. And then last, certainly not least, we got Gym Recovery out there. If you got you some personal towing needs in the greater Chicagoland area, reach out to Gym Recovery and tell them the Self Love Show sent you, and that brother will give you a great rate. All right. Ownership or slaveship. It's your choice. Ownership or slaveship. It's your choice. But enough of my yapping. I'll turn it over to this brother so he can handle his business.
Yes, y'all. Don't stop. Self Love Show rocks on. As always, we have a very important video for you to watch. The Silverback More Growth and Development platform, which we're building the Self Love Nation off of. But as always, before that, we have the Self Love Show quote of the day. A Kappa man must be good, upright, moral, and manly. Once again, Kappa man must be good, upright, moral, and manly. The Dreamer, Elder Watson Diggs. And God, the Silverback More Growth and Development platform. Silverback More Growth and Development platform. Number one, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number two, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And three, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influence. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the Black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
Nuevo. Trinity of Trinities.
Number 10, protect our women, children, and men by any and all means necessary.
When the people said flesh. And that can be done by being a good man, an upright man, a moral man. And can we say manly anymore? Is that offensive? Is that racial or something? I don't know what's going on in today's society.
I really don't care about that part.
I mean, is it toxic masculinity?
Manly. It probably might be considered such by this less than manly society.
Hey, if y'all missed last week's show, we broke down why are Moors, it wasn't specific to the Moors, but why are the copper colored, the bronze colored, worldwide feared, demonized, demonetized, and alienated? What say ye, Brother Wordsmith?
Oh, excellent. So much information. I'm telling you, you need to check it. Check it out.
Yeah, it was great. So all right, we got a poll up, y'all, and I guess I'll go ahead and drop this poll into the thing. So here's our poll. Karen, can you drop that into the thing? All right, we're gonna drop this in here, there, fella. This is the poll. You guys could click on this link and then you can vote yourself. It won't cost you anything. Dreams are ... Your first option is cap. It's pretty self-explanatory. Means a lie if you don't know. Dreams are number 2, just sleep entertainment. You know what I mean? Just wacky entertainment while you sleep. Could be. I mean, who am I? And then we got dreams are a bridge to the other side. Okay. And then finally, we have unsure. I'm rubbing my bum on the fence. Right now, we have one bum fence rider.
One bump, you riding the fence.
Yeah, somebody's rubbing their bum on the fence.
Just rubbing it, man.
Yeah, did they matriculate? Did they even, you know what I mean? Come on, you gotta have
Well,
an opinion on something like this.
you could think it both ways, you know.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
because some dreams are, appear to be nonsense, even
I
those
agree,
aren't, right. So you could think that it could
but
be
unsure.
nonsense.
I see what you're saying. You could be laying in the middle on that.
Yeah, well, this was kind of
All
important
right.
or
Well,
real,
drop a
but
comment. And for all you bum rider fences, drop a comment and explain yourself. So Brother Wordsmith doesn't have to come out there and explain on your behalf. I mean, just,
yes,
you know what I mean?
please,
Please
please
drop a comment on there.
let us know.
Yeah. All right. Dreams Decoded. That's our topic today, y'all. Please smash that like button for us and drop some comments in the chat and then repost this. You can send it by X. Let's get this out there to people. Bro, as I was saying in the introduction, 12's pigging again. I'm sure you've noticed it around the city. 12's finest. We had a body slam out there. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh yeah, this big brute of a guy was body slammed by 12. Big ups to ABC. This is fair use. It's for educational purposes, you guys. Okay.
Viral video showing a San Bernardino police officer body slamming a partially handcuffed 17-year-old girl, sending her face first into the pavement. We've paused the video just before the moment of impact. Eyewitness News reporter Ashley Mackey joins us now with more on how that girl is doing and what police are saying about this incident. Ashley.
Jory, that's right. That teenager, 17-year-old Erin, spoke today with family and community by her side at a press conference. We want to warn you, the video may be disturbing. On May 21st at about 2 in the afternoon, San Bernardino police responded to a grocery store to a call for trespassing and attempting to fight. Police arrived and took Erin into custody. You can see an officer holding her. And then this, an officer body slams her to the ground.
Oh,
I'm just in a lot of pain. I'm hurt everywhere. My head, my whole body. I'm not the same person I was.
Erin and her family say she and some of her friends were doing nothing wrong when another group of teens attacked them in the store unprovoked. They say police targeted Erin, treating her as if she did something wrong. Erin says she was body slammed face first.
I thought those sticks were illegal.
And a large scrape along the side of her face.
Him holding that nigga beater.
For my baby, she didn't do anything. The fact that I had to drive 2 hours, they let her bleed out for 3 in the hospital before they stitched her up. They gave us 3 different stories, one to me, one to my mom, one to my sister. I just want justice, that's it.
San Bernardino police released a statement saying at the time of the physical encounter, the officer was attempting to place the female in handcuffs. Officials say the officer was only able to place one of her hands in cuffs when she began actively pulling away and attempting to walk off from the officer when a takedown maneuver was used. In a news release, San Bernardino police say the San Bernardino Police Department is committed to impartial and accountable policing.
Yeah.
Use of force is applied based on behavior, not on age, gender, or race. Erin's family is demanding justice and are requesting Attorney General Rob Bonta launch an independent investigation into the incident. Live in the studio, Ashley Mackey, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
So are the pigs saying that if that was your 4-year-old, they would have done the exact that's literally what they're saying. They said it don't matter what age you are, what sex you are. Is that what they're saying?
That's what that's what they said. It's by behavior. So they're basically saying they slam a grandma all the way
A 5-year-old throwing a tantrum.
Yes.
Called them shoplifting at the stores and Theta. They'll do that too, huh?
Yeah. Well, we've seen it.
We saw him shoot the.
We've seen them, handcuffed 5-year-old and all that. We've seen it.
You're gonna tell me that man couldn't have handled that differently? Not you, but
right. I mean, yeah.
She wasn't that big, bro. Like,
I know that's completely unacceptable. And from what I saw, she wasn't partially handcuffed.
No, that was a lie. That was a lie. And then they were holding those sticks. You saw the N-word beaters. I thought those were banned. Probably just Chicago. I don't see LAPD with those, but that's San Bernardino, so it's a little different.
Yeah. And it's no reason you have to pick up somebody that's handcuffed and slam them on the ground like that.
I would love if we lived in a world where once they adjudicated everything, that young lady's and I hope she gets well and gets the help she needs. That young lady's dad or uncle, whoever's got the best hands in the family, can get in a ring and they handcuff that 12. You should handcuff him. And he should be able to pummel the poop out of him. That would be justice.
Yeah, I think that he should be slammed on the concrete just like he slammed her.
Because that's why, we could do that too. Yes. Because that's why I think I don't have children, bro, because I would find that pig, God forgive me, and I would try everything to unalive that pig. I don't care what uniform he's wearing.
Yeah, that's unacceptable. Period.
Yeah. Talking about protecting our women and children, and then they just pull up just because somebody called them and told them something and start body slamming people. And there's they want to teach people a lesson. They want to be judge, jury right there on the street.
These people are idiots.
She probably hurt his feelings. Call him a filthy pig. But get well and y'all fight. And I hope she gets the bag and now her college is paid for and and we can move on. All right, we got another one, man. It's more bright. It's more positive. Baby miracle. Big ups Fox 5. This was incredible, bro. I saw it with cats.
Story making headlines around the world. A Montgomery County 2-year-old survived a 15-story fall at this high-rise behind me in Silver Spring. Fox 5's Bob Barnard has a closer look tonight.
The toddler has survived to tell the story one day. Behind me is
definitely a god.
This is the apartment building here in Silver Spring. We went up to the 15th floor to get an idea of what that perspective was from the boy's point of view. Here is one of his neighbors, Mr. Mohammed Karoma.
Just look over there. Just the depth of them going down there. I don't know if the kid landed on the bushes. I don't know.
He landed on the bushes, apparently.
Yeah, that's
Look at those bushes they rather give credit to than God.
Yeah, man. It's really sad.
These are the bushes that apparently broke the little boy's fall. They're not much. The authorities say the boy was on the 15th floor. We circled the balcony there. It's a 20-story building. And around 2 p.m. Thursday, he fell from the balcony. We're told the boy suffered a broken leg and multiple internal injuries, but nothing life-threatening. We're told there were adults at home at the time, but police say they're still investigating how he got over the protective glass that surrounds the balcony there. Reaction here in the apartment community this afternoon.
I feel like that children shouldn't be on the balcony, especially unattended, because why are they outside? I have 4 children, they are not allowed on the balcony, and we live on the 5th floor, so the 15th floor, that's crazy to me.
You don't know what all of them doing.
No.
The kid might have climbed over because there is no way a kid can climb. A 2-year-old, no way. There must be some equipment right on the floor that the kid used to flip over.
It's definitely a tragedy, but people got to watch their children.
It's not a tragedy. The kid's fine.
The baby shouldn't have been outside on the balcony.
We're all wondering how you can
talking about a
survive
tragedy.
a fall
Right.
from that height. We reached out to Children's National Hospital today to ask that of pediatric emergency medicine doctor Katie Donnelly.
I want to stress first, this is really miraculous, right? This is
There we go.
falls from this height are usually pretty devastating, if not fatal.
Dr. Donnelly says the weight of the child and the bushes that he fell into likely contributed to his surviving. Montgomery County Police say in terms of the parents or guardians of this child, no charges have been filed at this time.
They ain't black.
Back in New York.
Man.
The first thing I saw was Africa, vast.
It's one thing, man. Before I saw that video, bro, I was sliding through LA and I was looking at a high rise. And I said to myself, it's amazing that those banisters aren't higher. I sure said that.
Yeah.
You saw how low those were, bro? You could be drunk
Especially-
and just lean over and flip over.
Especially, I mean, they got glass in them. You know, they should be higher.
Why not? Since they glass, you can
Yeah,
see.
you can see through it. Yeah, that doesn't make
That
sense.
is a miracle. And I think
Yeah.
children's bodies are more malleable than ours.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that has a lot to do with it too.
That definitely helped.
Mm-hmm. You think that's going to affect them? Because you remember everything when you're in theta. You just don't consciously remember.
Yeah, I mean, you remember everything, period. You ain't got to be in theta.
Right.
Right. But yeah, yeah, they need to keep him from doing something like that again, because he might think that that's
Fun, huh?
perfectly all right. I mean, he did break bones, so it did hurt
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully that teaches him something. But you know what I mean? He, you know,
What would you do as a parent moving forward to block that from happening again? But you know, it take forever to move away. You know, maybe move to a lower.
no more
part.
balcony. No more balcony.
You keep that door locked.
We put a couch in front of it or something.
You'd have to lock it, right?
Yeah. You put a couch or something in front of it. You know, it's no more balcony. You act like you don't.
Oh, period. You're saying you won't even really use it.
Yes, nobody.
Put a couch, close the thing.
Yes, nobody used the balcony
until you can move down to the first or the second floor or something.
Yeah, somewhere else.
Wow.
After my child falls off of there, no more balcony for family.
Wow.
Just
bro, the parents must be feeling really good though, bro. And I wonder how long it took before they realized, like, they didn't get into all the details that their child had fallen from that distance. Can you imagine? And you look down there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Don't even want to imagine.
Man,
I'm happy.
bro.
I'm happy for the child and
Yes.
family, but I don't want to imagine that because.
And how do you think he got up there? You think they had some furniture up there, or it didn't look too high though?
It was something he had to use to climb over. I mean, it was taller than a chair. He couldn't just walk up to it and grab it and pull over.
I don't know. You were doing some things, getting those cookies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I pushed the chair and then I got on the chair, then on the counter.
That's probably what he did.
Yeah,
what could he have been trying to do? Chase a bird? Could have been a bird. I don't know.
Look over. I don't know. Jump off. I mean, I don't know.
All right. All right. God bless the child, and God and Yah bless Yah. All right, dome teaser, y'all. This is the riddle. I am a world within a world, yet vanish with the dawn. I hold secrets untold, yet slip through memory's grasp. I am both real and unreal. You're rubbing your fence on a bum? You're bumming the fence? A story written without ink. What am I? I am a world within a world, yet vanish within the dawn. I hold secrets untold, yet slip through memory's grasp. I am both real and unreal, a story within without ink. What am I? That riddle is pinned in the chat. You guys, come on. Can somebody, for the love of everything we love, solve one of these things besides Brother Wordsmith? Yeah.
I mean,
flat out lazy. I'm calling him lazy.
Well, we've had, people solve.
Yeah. So long ago.
Yeah. Ace is pretty good, and he's nice.
Ace is good, and what's her name? She got the big
Ivory.
TV. Who'd you say?
I mean, damn, Ivory. I see it, but that's her real name.
Right.
Name on it.
Right. Because we changed the show and it don't fix our schedule no more. So yeah. She was good too. Ace was good, to your point. All right, y'all. So you got to the end of the show to matriculate. Brother Wordsmith has already resolved it. Karen, we don't have any type of promo video. So we're gonna jump right to it. All right, we do this show for George Floyd. You know, they just had the anniversary. It was a 5-year anniversary of his death. So rest in peace.
I heard that. I was like, oh, wow. I was shocked it's been 5 years.
Yeah, and the Devils are trying to get Donald Trump to pardon him. Yeah, pardon him. Let his ass out. We'll see how that goes, right? Yeah, partner. He better move to the Philippines. All right. So we're
Well,
copper.
we said that about that other guy that killed the boy.
Oh, out there in Florida.
And then he's still walking around.
Flossing. I think this is a little different though. We saw it all on camera for 9 minutes, and he's a pig. But I know Zimmerman. You're talking about George Zimmerman. All right, and we're copper colored first, bronze first. This is all about the More Growth and Development program. It's MOOR, More Growth and Development. We're here to chronicle our story, to rival his story, and we're here for the progeny, those who may come behind us, which could be us, recycled if you're not in your final thing where you become just a bright light of love, and then you're more like a helper, And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we added consciousness. We're here to explore and human consciousness. So we added that. All right. And today's topic, dreams decoded. Hit that like button, y'all. And before we get started, today's show is sponsored by Midwest Festivals, presents Ancestral Echoes. That link is pinned in the chat. I will move it back to the most recent one. So it's sponsored by Midwest Festivals, y'all. You can have a great time at that event. What the hell is this? Oh my God. Wordsmith, can you repost that? Appreciate you. I don't know what just happened here. I tried to copy it and redrop it and some nonsense happened. All right. So that's going to be the last one pinned in the chat for you guys. Make it real easy. Just click on it, spend your money, and we appreciate y'all. All right. So we're going to start out. Maybe I could have copied it like this. I don't know what that was. Copy link address. Try this again. Don't give up. That's weird. All right. It won't let me do it. All right. But anyway, we're going to start with big science. We're going to start with the left brain approach to dreams, which is really weird. But we're going to go, if you're left-handed, it'll be a right brain approach to dreams. What is the most widely accepted scientific theory? What's your understanding of what we were told and taught about dreams and why we dream, so to speak? What do you know about this?
Well, not necessarily what we were taught when we were, younger or what have you, but I was taught that it's a time for your soul to remove itself from the avatar so that it can.
No. Ain't nobody in science ever told you none of that. We're talking about science, bro. What is the most widely accepted scientific theory on why we dream, bro?
Help us process and consolidate information from the previous day. Some researchers say that it plays a role in regulation, memory storage, and problem solving.
Facts. That's what science approach is. But they haven't used the scientific method, which we'll discuss later. Science has a lot of theories they push on us, unproven theories, and we accept it because it's science. But if a spiritual person told you something like what Brother Wordsmith was uttering earlier, we just immediately throw it out, and there's no scientific method on either side. So yeah, great job. Science proposes several theories on why we dream, though the exact purpose remains debated. Here are some of the leading perspectives. Memory consolidation. Dreams help process and organize memories, strengthening important information while discarding irrelevant details. Emotional regulation. Love that word regulation, by the way. They act as a subconscious therapy session, allowing the brain to work through fears, anxieties, and unresolved emotions. Problem solving. Some scientists suggest dreams aid in creative thinking, helping the mind generate solutions to real world issues. random neural activity. You know, it's all random. We're just here for random. We're just on a little dot for no reason, and none of this means nothing. We're no different than a roach, which we aren't. Um, the activation synthesis theory argues that dreams are the brain's attempt to make sense of random signals during sleep. And then cognitive simulation. They may act as rehearsals for social interactions, threats, or future scenarios, preparing the brain for real life experiences. Can dreams predict the future or have real world significance, Brother Wordsmith?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
There are many, I don't know if I'm going too soon or whatever, but there are many people that have had dreams and said that it helped them solve problems. And
Oh, damn right. Yes, many very famous people. And then you have to think about all the people who aren't so famous, and that dream didn't come up with E equals MC squared, but it came up with something that fixed the boiler in the house. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, whatever issue or problem that they were
Right.
having,
Right.
He's just happened to be E equal MC squared. But
Right. But I'm saying we wouldn't hear about this. So you can imagine
Right.
how much this is happening if it's happening in these instances.
Yeah.
Now, according to big science, while dreams can't literally predict the future, they may reveal subconscious thoughts, anxieties, or desires. Some researchers have proposed that dreams help process information and simulate possible scenarios, giving the illusion of foresight. However, from a scientific standpoint, dreams are seen more as reflections of cognition rather than precognitive events. Do all so-called humans dream the same way, Brother Wordsmith?
Absolutely not.
What do you mean by that?
Um, uh, most of us came here and we're different. We have different goals and objectives, what to achieve in this um, so-called lifetime.
This realm?
Yeah, this realm. You know, I'm gonna say a simulation. You're gonna say base reality. That we have different purposes, so our dreams are different. Our different biology, our different consciousness, our different uh, mind states. Um, all of those affect that state.
100% right, bro. It says ChatGTP said no. Dreams are based on individual brain activity, culture, and your psychological state. Factors like sleep disorders, trauma, or neurological differences, such as in people with synesthesia. What the hell is that? Sounds familiar.
It really does, but I need
Can influence dream content. Some scientists study lucid dreaming, where individuals gain awareness and control within dreams, demonstrating how diverse and dynamic dreaming can be. And while Brother Wordsmith's looking up synesthesia, y'all support our sponsors, Midwest Festivals. They're presenting Ancestral Echoes. It's in the chat. Tay Mills Aesthetics, for multicultural skin, body, and weight loss pro in Southern California. Bella B Designs, 365 at gmail.com. For your your swag, you want something like this made, you can get it done. And lastly, Gym Recovery, your greater Chicagoland towing needs. Reach out, look up Gym Recovery, and tell them all the Self Love Show sent you. All right, fella, synesthesia.
Synesthesia, or mixing of the senses, is a perceptual phenomenon where stimulation of one sensory pathway triggers involuntary experiences in another. For example, a sound might evoke a color, or a shape might be tasted. Wow, shape might be tasted.
Well, when you were going through the telepathy tapes,
yeah,
a lot of them were experiencing that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's got to be incredible. Some people see mathematical problems and like formulas as colors and stuff, bro. It's amazing.
Yeah. They see people as colors. I
Well,
mean,
we're copper colored. You got your
the
pinks.
aura, the
Oh,
aura.
I got you.
I'm talking about the,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
know what you're talking. I thought you were talking about the plan.
what's controlling the avatar.
Hmm.
Everybody act like our souls are in our bodies, but our bodies are in our souls. We all have this aura and this.
100%. It's depicted in all the pictures when they show like the
Yes.
Christ and all of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Question: how much time does the average person dream annually? It's a mind blower. Let me break it down for you.
Yeah.
On average, human beings spend about 2 hours per night dreaming, which adds up to roughly 730 hours or about 30 full days annually. So 1 month out of your 12 months are spent in this wacky dreamland. Meaningless. Self calls it what do you call it? A matrix simulation. I call it base reality. Whether there's a creator or not, science suggests that our world, this realm, is all about efficiency, things not being wasted. So I find it really difficult to believe that we'd spend one out of 12 months doing something that's has no purpose.
Yeah, that's the tomfoolery about dreaming. Because of course it has a purpose. You're not doing that for no reason.
So you think in the other realm, as above, so below? I don't know. But let me do the math on this. There's no number one. Oh, there's no number one on this calculator.
What?
I pulled up oh, here it is. 1 divided by 12 equals. Yeah, so 0.08, close to 10%, 8% of your life is spent in a dream state. So it says here, since dreams occur primarily during REM, rapid eye movement, sleep, and REM cycles repeat multiple times throughout the night, the total time dreaming varies depending on your sleep quality, your age, and individual sleep patterns. That means by the end of an average lifetime, a person could spend several years dreaming. It's wild to think about how much time we devote to these unconscious experiences, especially when some dreams feel fleeting while others linger like distant memories. And you brought up the fleeting ones versus when you were talking about the poll. And that's what we're going to get into, because some people they say some dreams are just these random events, and then they say other ones. And I think they all ain't random.
We spend it's a month out the year dreaming, but shit, most people, they tell you to spend 4 months. You're sleeping.
Yeah. Yes. 30 of your life. If you live to be 80, you're sleeping 24 hours. And if you don't, you won't live to be 80. I mean, you live to be 80, you're sleeping 24 years. Dreams Decoded. That's what we're breaking down here today. Yeah, that's an amazing thought, fella. That is an amazing thought, bro. All right, let's talk about the spooks before we take a brief break. So these are wacky, meaningless dreams. Just forgot the word they call it. It's a fancy word, but the example they gave Self was like Easter, the pagan holiday. The Easter egg is what they compare dreaming to, right? Just a result, just a offshoot of the main thing, right? just a result of processes, but it's just something that comes out that's meaningless.
Ishtar.
Yeah, Ishtar. Yes. So what was the big spook's interest in remote viewing and dream related phenomenon, bro? And we covered a lot of this before.
Yeah, they
CIA being the spooks, y'all.
hemi syncing the brain.
Binaural beats.
Yes. That's how they hemisync. They get a frequency that goes in one ear and another one in the other ear. They're different, but it syncs both sides of the brain and allows you to access the overmind. And you're able to process information that you don't even really know. They can give you information in an envelope. You don't even open the envelope. You just touch the envelope.
And we all have that gift.
Yes.
They're suggesting, though, that the CIA isn't, that they just stopped. They're not investigating any of this anymore.
Well, okay. Well, the people that developed the whole process or whatever are still teaching people how to do it at the Monroe Institute.
Yeah. And those people would be spooks.
Yeah, and they're still there and they're still called to work.
Yeah. Once a spook, always a spook.
Information.
Yeah. If they want to figure out where a big submarine is hidden or something like that, or what's going on the dark side of the moon, they pull these people out of the craw.
Yeah.
The CIA explored remote viewing as part of classified programs aimed at gathering intelligence through extrasensory perception, known as ESP. Some reports suggested that altered states of consciousness, including dream states, were examined for their potential to enhance awareness or intuition. We're in speaker view too, bro. So nobody will see you until you so you can keep your camera on. They don't see you until you talk. So it's better to keep your camera on, but mute. All right. Just in case you say something. All right. Now, some reports suggest that altered states of consciousness, including dream states, were examined for their potential to enhance awareness or intuition in intelligence operations, while official studies found limited scientific validity. They remain a subject of intrigue in psychological and military research. Brother Wordsmith was getting into a little bit the gateway process and how it relates to dreams. The gateway process was or is a method developed to expand your consciousness, allegedly through techniques like meditation and binaural beats. While it primarily focused on achieving altered states rather than dreams specifically, some theories suggested that deep relaxation and hypnagogic states, the transitional phase between wakefulness and sleep, could allow access to heightened perception or non-local consciousness, which resembled dreamlike visions. Now, I wonder, bro, you see how they said the transitional phase, transition, there's a word, transition, phrase between wakefulness and sleep. I wonder if that's happening when we leave this realm, you know?
That's interesting.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I
I don't want. Go ahead.
Tesla used that state.
Elon Musk
in between. No, Tesla, the real person, not the guy. Not the guy. They say he would. They said that he would fall. When he's working on something, he would sit back and take a little nap or whatever, and
Yes.
he hold a marble. And as soon as he falls asleep, whatever, he dropped the marble and it hit a plate and wake him up. And he said he could access all information.
Oh, I've heard that kind of
in
sort
that
of
state.
That is brilliant, bro. Because I was looking as I was going down this. They
In
tell
that
you,
state,
bro.
he can access all information.
Right, I got you. They tell you, bro. When you wake up, say you wake up 4 a.m., 3 a.m., whatever, in the middle of the night, they tell you can access itself by not moving and just lay there with your eyes open. Yeah. Yeah. So that's funny. I'm gonna try that, bro. I'm gonna get like a marble or something, and I'm gonna do that, bro. If he can do it, I probably can do it too, huh?
100%.
Do you think the CIA still research dreams or consciousness related phenomenon, bro? According to them on record, they're not.
Yeah, well, COINTELPRO isn't still operating by the FBI either, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. According to Chat GTP, which I believe has been compromised to an extent. While past programs like Stargate Project investigated remote viewing, publicly available records suggest that direct dream experimentation is not a current focus. However, intelligence agencies continue studying cognition, perception, and psychological operations, which may include research on consciousness, influence, and the effect of altered states. Man, we should have access to that information, bro.
Yes, you're exactly right.
You know, we should have access to that.
There are some books by Sean Webb that, man,
Is he with the Gateway Experience? I mean the one you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, he
Monroe.
He's not really a part of it, but he goes and studies there. So, he wrote this book on consciousness. First, he wrote how emotions work and how that all affects you and how you can turn that off to not be affected by words and how people act and all of that. How to separate yourself from your pulling things into yourself so you don't get offended when somebody talks about your favorite ball team or something, because
But they're talking about Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You make those things part of yourself. So then somebody's attacking that, they're attacking you.
Right.
But he's got some he starts there and then he expands on to consciousness, and he's got a lot of very, very interesting things.
Yeah, man, that would be good for me, man. I like to read that because I deal with a lot of people, man, and they be saying, nah, this cat and they talking about how he didn't like Deion Sanders and and then he was describing the things he was doing on the field. Like one time he said, I forgot the running back. It was something happened and Deion, it was a receiver. Deion, didn't make the play. And then he's like, he laid there like he was hurt. And then he said, but then they punted the next kickoff. The next kickoff, Deion ran a touchdown back. I'm like, you ain't like that? I was like, maybe that he was showing some gamesmanship. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was dinged up and you know what I mean? And he toughed it out. But then he went on later to mention something that some pink guy did, which was worse than what Deion did in a conversation. And I'm like, so you like that? Mm-hmm. You like that? And you don't like what, because man, bro, you know what I'm saying? So you like that and you don't like what Deion did, huh? I was like, why is that? I forgot. He gave some dumbass reason. You know what I mean? I don't know. It wasn't during the game. I don't know. He gave some dumbass reason to support his biases,
Yeah, and all biases and all that stuff, people make that a part of them, just their opinion.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times it's not even their opinion, though.
Yeah, that's the most.
They've been getting it from the narrative
and from the media.
That's what I'm saying.
Most people,
yes, the narrative,
right?
That's where they're getting it from, and they just lap it up, bro, like a cat lapping up milk, and they regurgitate it because they think that makes them sound intelligent, because they're in the know, they're watching the news, and they're just reciting crap.
They're the most brainwashed and don't even know it. They don't even know it.
Don't
just
even
be repeating what CNN say. And they don't even know it.
Yeah, and they think
repeating what Fox say. Only Fox in their box. They don't even know it.
and they think the 13, whatever, 14 families don't own all that. Whether it's MSNBC, Fox, they don't think that that they're controlling all of it.
They don't know anything about any controlling or whatever.
Because the media is not talking about it,
and they think it's all free and everything works how because there's none of that. That's what these people think and how they act.
Not until the news comes out and says something. 95% of people, in my opinion, won't believe it. The news has to come out with their suits on, you know what I mean, and say COINTELPRO is real, and
I don't know if it's
crack in the neighborhoods.
95%, but it is a high percentage. 95 is kind of
at least 90. You got a 5%ers who I don't know, bro. Yeah, you're right. Well, with the media, you're right. Especially these newer generations, a lot of them kind of know it's cap, and I don't know where they got that from.
Well, they're born from people that know that it's cap. So it's in their DNA.
Yeah.
It's the Self Love Show, the Self Love Show, the Self Love Show.
We do it for our people.
The Self Love Show, it's the Self Love Show, it's the Self Love Show. To expose they're no equal. The Self Love Show, the Self Love Show, the Self Love Show. Wordsmith 9 Mills, the Self Love Show, the Self Love Show. You know how the story go. It's the Self Love Show.
Y'all know how it is. You know what it is. Hey, we on one. Y'all see. It's going down. Dreams Decoded. We got some great videos for your edutainment. And we'll be right back with you with more dynamic information specifically for the Self-Love Nation. It's a blessing.
You know how the story go. It's the Self Love Show.
The first thing I saw was Africa, vast, beautiful, and glowing with a golden light. I saw ancient cities, strong civilizations, and people full of wisdom, resilience, and spiritual power. They were chosen. Jesus spoke. The world has lied about them. They are not what they have been made to believe. They were given gifts, power, and knowledge that many tried to erase. The vision shifted again. I saw chains, ships, people being taken from their homeland. I saw suffering, pain, and generations being told they were less than what they were. And then I saw something even more shocking. I saw spiritual forces working behind the scenes, intentionally suppressing the truth. Jesus turned to me and continued. The oppression was not just physical, it was spiritual, because if they knew who they truly were, the world would change. I saw modern times, people waking up, realizing their worth, reclaiming their power. Jesus smiled. The time of revelation has begun. They will rise again. Jesus raised his hand again. I saw a time long before slavery. I saw a world where black people held spiritual knowledge that was powerful beyond words. They understood the connection between heaven and earth, between spirit and the physical world. They had divine wisdom that had been passed down from generation to generation, men and women who had direct communication with God. Jesus looked at me, his expression filled with both sorrow and love. This is why they were targeted, because those who rule the world fear those who carry divine wisdom. But as I watched, I saw something incredible. Even through oppression, through generations of being told they were nothing, their spirit was never broken. Their power never left them. They carry something that cannot be destroyed, Jesus continued. And that is why they must remember. The world had been built on lies, but the truth was rising. The vision changed again. This time, I saw a great awakening. People of all nations, but especially black people, standing up, realizing who they were. I saw them breaking free from mental chains, reclaiming their spiritual power. It was unlike anything I had ever seen. The world had tried to erase them, but they were stepping into the truth. And as they did, something miraculous happened. The world itself began to shift. Jesus turned to me once more. The prophecy is unfolding. They will lead the world into a new era of spiritual awakening. You must tell them. The world is changing, and they need to know the truth.
I could be, by the airport, and it could be 70 degrees by the airport, and as soon as you come up over that hill on the 101 or the 405, and you feel that heat, now you're like sitting in it, and you have to now wait for the climate to adjust based on. So if that's happening in nature, then it's happening in our body. We're a part of nature. We're all connected. And that, when you shift in that way, you then begin to operate differently. And so I began to understand that every component of my life, everything that I thought I could control, I had no control over. And the things that I could control, I began to focus more on. And that was my attitude. That is my relationship with myself and God in me. That is my, like you said, the spiritual principles. That's getting back to scripture. That's going back to all resources that have been available and accessible to us all.
And I was like, when I was young, I got raped. And I was like, Bob, twice my age. When it happened, like, I wasn't thinking about it, or that he was like, oh, I just did some with an older woman. Like, it's lit. Like, you go through life and you see stuff and learn stuff. It's like, nah, damn, I got raped. People put me in the box. They know us as gang members, and we from the streets and all this, you feel me? So they look at us like, oh, we gang members, we animals, we not human. People say I live crazy, like I live like a wild life, dangerous life or whatever. Like, I talk about that. So now me going through this growing stage of my life, it ain't hard for me, because it's like I'm telling my truth. It is what it is. I just got baptized with my kids, or with my family. My kids requested it, my oldest daughter. And I was just like, what? That's crazy. She 9.
You rapping, he gives it.
You sounding like this shit is the wheel or something, like it's gonna change the world.
Look, man, I don't know about all that change the world shit, but what I do know is that they be going crazy over this, man. I'm telling you. And the bitches, oh Lord, the bitches, yo, they do anything for this.
And not more fog to the mind. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen, brother. And the people said amen. Yeah, give us some examples of something that may have happened to you, or you've experienced. And then I know you are deep in your book, and you're deep into prayer, your connection, you have this relationship. First, what happened? Give me some examples. And then how do you discern, how do you know if you're dealing with something that's psychiatric or something that's demonic?
So first was my experience. So my first experience was my very first experience with demonic possession, or let me say attack, was myself. I literally have been getting closer to the Lord in some spaces, and I literally had a moment where I woke up one morning when I had to preach at a church. I knew the sermon, I prepared the word, I knew the church intimately. And in the midst of that, I woke up one morning and I found myself unable to move. And so, I pulled the same thing that, all of us good old Christians pull, say the name of Jesus. So first I was like, Jesus. And when I got ready to let the word out, then the demon took my breath. So the only thing I was able to do for me was actually do sign language and spell the name Jesus. So when I got the last S out, I was released.
Wait, so you were doing like drawing the characters?
No, I was JESUS. I'm sign language ASL. So I'm doing that. I'm trying to hit the two middle fingers in the palm to say the name Jesus. When that happened, I was released, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. And when I got upstairs, I had red scratches around my neck as if he was holding my neck, trying to strangle me. and I felt temporary paralysis. And so, everybody talks about, oh, that's the body. It's in between the state of sleep and da-da-da. I was like, okay, then explain the scratches on my chest and then around my neck. And they was like, well, maybe you scratch yourself in your sleep. I have a nervous tick when I was younger. I bite my fingernails to the butt fingers. So I can't scratch myself with butt fingers. So long story short, I didn't believe none of that. I knew what it was. My second occasion.
When I was 11, particular time I was going to the store, one of my siblings' birthday. I came out my building and I looked to my left. I saw this little boy giving a command to a black pit bull. And I seen an old lady and they were like kind of creeping behind her. I'm looking like, what is that boy doing? Gives the command, get him. Grab the pocketbook from the old lady, the dog, and they take off jogging. And they pass by my building. I'm standing there watching the whole thing. And because of no entertainment, like real entertainment, I was like, what? Like, wow. It was the fact that he connected with the dog and was able to, the dog knew exactly what he was telling him to do was so intriguing and like amazing to me. But so I'm looking like, wow, who are you? Like, and he looking at me with this smirk like, you better not say nothing.
Man, I thank you guys for inviting me on. Thank you. Great format, very solid. It don't have that low budget movie feel. You know what I'm saying? And we get that a lot in the Black community, for real. Like people look at us to be products. They look at us to be low budget. They look at us to be ignorant, stuttering, and use a whole bunch of and all of that. But no, they got the real deal on here. That everybody know who Torian Mills is, baby. They know.
Hey, well, bro,
They're so ignorant, man.
Hey, but this platform's your platform. This platform's my platform. From Inglewood, California to
the
Chicago,
South Shore.
Crazy thing about it.
This platform is
made for you and me.
It's made for you.
The crazy and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. I was trying to get out the end of the preamble, but go ahead, bro.
Yes, y'all. Don't stop.
People, it's the Self Love Show. It's the Self Love Show. It's the Self Love Show. To expose they don't equal. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. The Wordsmith 9 is the Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. You know how the story go. It's the Self Love Show.
Yo. Welcome back. Y'all said on videos? Oh. Very edutaining. That's how we do at TATN.
TATN.
Yes, y'all. Don't stop. Dreams decoded on the Self Love Show. Been getting at it. Now we're about to expand.
It's the Self Love Show. Yes, sir. All right. So you indicated, let's discuss some famous dreamers. The one that jumps out is Elder Watson Diggs, Chapter Invisible, Big Brother, solid man, founder, creator of Kappa Alpha Psi, the visionary. And I maybe I have to get into the history of that because I wonder, I do wonder, you know what I mean? They call him
because it's because some people say that Irving was the dreamer. It's a trip because
DX was saying that he's become quite the historian.
It's a trip how some things get adjusted through time.
Time is a trip. Mandela effect, bro. I had that guy I was telling you about earlier. We were talking about Barry Sanders because he was from Detroit. We were talking about his dad. And I thought his dad was a Peyton guy, but his dad was a Jim Brown guy. But I don't know why I thought I heard Barry Sanders talking about how his dad loved Walter Payton and his dad didn't want to break him didn't want him to break Walter Payton's record, and that's part of the reason why he retired, bro. And I couldn't find that nowhere. So maybe I got all of that, you know, in the dream state out there.
I don't know, man. We're multidimensional, and if every decision splits off to a different dimension, as things have been stated, we dimension hop.
Yes, be unlimited worlds, infinite dimension, realms.
For every decision.
Yes. Yeah. Made by everyone who's ever lived.
So it all exists.
Every animal, every insect, every fish. But let's go down this rabbit hole, bro. All right. You were mentioning people who made discoveries, bro. Any of them stand out? What person are we talking about? And what discovery did they make after waking up from a dream or invention?
Albert Einstein said he came up with the theory of relativity. It's one of the more famous. Paul McCartney said he came up with one of them hits.
The one yesterday. Yeah. I want to listen to it with the lyrics. Yeah.
One of those super hits for him.
No, it was yesterday. It wasn't one of those. It was the song yesterday. Yesterday, we can do the games we play.
It's still one of those super hits that he had.
And I believe. I just want to be clear, though. When I get the specific, you come right behind it and say, yeah, one of those hits. It was that specific hit.
Right, but it was still one of those hits. That's all I was saying. Yesterday, you hit it right on the head.
Yeah.
And still, I'm describing as one of those hits because yesterday is one of those hits that he, had.
Oh, you think he had multiple hits from the dream state?
I think so.
I wouldn't deny it because sometimes if you don't remember those dreams consciously, it doesn't mean that. Correct.
You put it into your music.
Correct. Interesting. Dmitry, I never heard of this guy. Mendeleev. I never heard of him because he's a Russian. Okay, and this is America. He's a Russian chemist. Reportedly saw the periodic table of the elements, bro. He saw that arrangement in a dream, helping him refine his groundbreaking classification of elements.
Absolutely.
And what's the Terrence Howard? Terrence Howard said he's got a lot of his in the dream state. Your boy Salvador Dali, famous painter. He's a surrealist artist. He actively cultivated dreamlike states for inspiration, creating bizarre and imaginative works based on hypnagogic visions.
Wow.
All right. There was a scary movie, bro.
I need
very famous book.
Need to look up that word.
I know I've used it twice and meant to look it up the first time. But there's a very famous book, bro. It was a scary picture. It became a movie, old school in the black and white times, very famous, classic. Mary Shelley. She famously credited a very vivid dream for inspiring the creation of Frankenstein, bro.
Yeah,
or Frankenstein. Is it Frankenstein or Frankenstein?
I don't know. I don't speak that language.
One of the most enduring works of horror literature, bro, that came from a dream.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned Paul McCartney. Rene Descartes. It's a philosopher out there. Rene Descartes claimed he had a series of dreams that led him to develop foundational ideas in metaphysics, in both metaphysics and mathematics. Dreams, bro. Dreams. And then, so they're creating science and stuff behind these dreams, and then the whole science comes back in a loop and says it's all hogwash.
Yeah. Well, you know how that goes.
Niels Bohr, I've heard of him. But Niels Bohr, his dream allegedly helped him visualize the structure of the atom, which became a key part of quantum mechanics. I wish I had known this when I was at W.H. Ray. You didn't show your work. How'd you get this answer? It came to me in a dream. You know what I mean? Yeah, when I was nodding off and I'm sleeping in class, guess what? I'm working on some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let the kids sleep in class.
I think I was accessing in theta because I was like, I just knew the answers.
Correct, bro. Right.
Like, you got to show this work and this and that. And I'm like, this is the answer. I know the answer. Or what? It's
Right.
not
I
like,
got the answer. What's the problem?
right. And I don't need to write anything down or anything. I can look at that and say, this is the answer.
Boom. Yeah. Yeah, I was definitely using that too. I love multiple guess tests. I was always good with that because I knew I was using that theta, boy. No studying, especially down there in Chambana, boy. Shit. Thought I was gonna ride the curve. I damn near said it a couple times. They looking at me like you weren't even in class ever. You know what I mean? That's right. And I didn't read none of this shit, but you gave me all the answers. You put them out there in front of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just had to go into my consciousness or my subconsciousness, and you know what I mean, and let the ether tell me to write.
Man.
Carl Jung, or Jung, but it's Jung. I'm sure you're familiar with him.
I am.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of on the fence, rubbing my bum on the fence with this guy. But he frequently explored dreams to develop concepts in analytical psych, including archetypes in the collective unconscious, bro. All this came from dreams, and they're gonna tell you you're wacky. You know what I mean? If you say, hey, I had a dream and bro, don't go to work today or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Elias Ho or How or Ho, Howe, his dream provided the key insight that allowed him to invent the modern sewing machine, solving a technical problem with the needle's movement. So, bro, he was working, trying to figure out a way to make a sewing machine. That Mark had a dream, and in that dream, some indigenous peoples came, and they had these spears, bro. And on the top of the spear, they had these little loops in it. That Mark woke up and said, damn it, this just might work. And we came up with the sewing needle.
I want to see what he looks like because,
No, I'm not saying he was indigenous.
Right. I don't think he was, and I don't think he invented any part of it out there.
Yeah, I mean, some of these people could be rehashing the stories of the actual inventors, where they stole it from.
That could be right.
Yeah, and then there's a case where, I could just say, I could plagiarize and just say it came to me in a dream. But, you know what I mean? All right, now you mentioned Nikola Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
While not purely dream-based, he often claimed that flashes of inspiration, including aspects of his wireless electricity concepts, came to him in altered states.
Mm-hmm.
Frederick Banting, I have heard this name.
Mm-hmm.
This scientist had a dream that led to the breakthrough in developing insulin therapy for diabetes treatment. It's crazy. Francis, don't eat bacon. Well, pork bacon. Francis, don't eat bacon. Guess what? Allegedly, I saw it somewhere, but then ChatGPT is pushing back on it. But allegedly, the whole scientific method that we all go by today was given to him in a dream by archetypes. Okay. What is the scientific method? And could this be applied to dream research, dear fella?
That would be very difficult. It's observe, make a hypothesis, try to prove it. I'm missing something, but
I mean, you got the gist of it. It's a structured process for investigating questions and discovering truths through observation and experimentation. It typically involves, you don't have to cut your camera off. Speaker view there, fella. Just hit mute. It's safer because then if you start talking, it's gonna, All right, but nobody can see you, is what I'm saying. The scientific method itself is a structured process for investigating questions and discovering truth through observation and experimentation. It involves, what Brother Wordsmith said, observation, which is identifying a phenomenon or problem. So that's one, question formation, asking what, why, or how something occurs. Now, I'm going to push back on this because I used to ask why all the time in science class, and nobody was getting to the bottom of that.
Yeah, they really couldn't because they didn't know.
Right. They do all the science.
Teachers,
Go ahead.
Most of our teachers are not on the level of as in theta. Like, and most of the children you dealt with at Ray, that's one thing. Most of them people were thinkers. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's one thing they because you got a step up education from the neighboring institutions. Because
No, you're 100% right. Because we used to kick ass on those so-called formal tests. But again, they used to look at me, self. They used to keep, we got to take you out of the 4th class, put you in the 3rd highest class. And I kept killing those tests. We're going to put you in the 2nd. Then they pulled me in the office. You're supposed to be in the top class. You damn right I am. They put me in there.
Always supposed to be. Just y'all were messing around.
They pigeonholed me. He's the athlete. You know what I mean? Yeah. They pigeonholed me, bro. But those results kept getting shoved down their throat, bro.
That was the only reason you was still there.
Especially once we were out of the district and they knew it.
Yeah. It was like, oh no, we got to keep him around now.
Yeah, he's helping you're right.
He's gonna be one of these guys that can communicate with the people.
And they actually told me something similar. You know what I mean? Just keep up the good work with the grades and stuff like that. Don't let your grades slip. They pretty much told me that's the only reason you're still here. You know what I mean? And then the fact that my 3 siblings, older, they went in there and they had never had no problems with them. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, we're just gonna push you through. You know what I mean? Because so question formation, asking what, why, or how something occurs. So they could tell you, it was a zygote and then it split and then it split again, but they can't tell you why. You know what I mean? They can't tell you why, and that should be the whole thing. All right, and then hypothesis, proposing a. Go ahead.
The whole problem is, person that brought this whole process up wasn't taught by the masters because they knew why, and this Western thinking has been a split from nature. You cannot divide what can't be divided. And they try to separate everything into these separate things when there's a oneness that they're missing out on.
Yeah, the unification of love. Yeah, that's right, bro. Missing out on it 100%. They're just letting it lay there. Experimentation, designing and conducting tests to evaluate that hypothesis. Data analysis, interpreting results to determine patterns of validity. Conclusion, confirming or rejecting the original hypothesis based on the evidence. Replication, repeating experiments to ensure accuracy and reliability. And this just gets into a lot. I used to always be like, because I was, came up in Bible study and all that, and anything's possible, and as a man thinketh. And I always had a premonition, bro, that we're doing these experiments, and we're bringing it out of the ether, and we're willing those results to a certain extent, and they need to study that, how much the human consciousness has on these results that they're getting.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is it's been a combination of things. They've known about focus and how what you say and the vibrations and the frequency of these words. That's why they've changed the pronunciations of our language, man. They've used it to make us not speak in our power and speaking into existence, because we don't speak our original language. We speak in this commerce language that we've allowed ourselves to be.
Bro,
Yeah.
you're 100% right. I had a cat walked up on my car. He's mad about something. Man, he walked up. So I let the window down. He wasn't expecting what he got. I had my fingers up like the Christ. I didn't do this. I had my fingers like they be doing in all those pictures. Stuck my finger out the window just like this. And I said, I command you to choose your words wisely before you address me. Oh, oh man, no, I wasn't about to. Yeah, bro. I mean, I know you're talking about more in tonal things. I get you. But yeah, yes, they've made us not understand the power of your words, bro.
Yeah. They made us not know our language, which,
And our power.
It is powerful in
He
of itself.
I can guarantee you, he never had nobody tell him anything close to that.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm learning certain things, bro. And how to nip things in the bud before they even go all the way up. Like you have that premonition, and we'll have it, and you can nip it in the bud before it festers and becomes a volcano. Like we be knowing what's about to happen before it happens, and it's okay, bro, to tell somebody. It was in Belly when the Farrakhan type of character told Buns, the DMX character, I know why you here. Remember, Buns walked up behind him with that stick, and Buns thought he was sneaking up on him, and he told the security to let him in. Remember, he said all that. He's like, yeah, we knew you was coming. That kind of thing. Mess Buns' whole spirit up. All right, we're gonna take off speaker view, bro, and we're gonna get into these wacky fringe theories of dreams. So we went through the scientific method. We showed you guys, and we'd love to hear from you, what kind of dreams you had. And before we go there, bro, there's one dream in my life that stands out. How old was I? I feel like I was in high school. It might have been on the yard, but I feel like it was in high school, bro. And this is one of the only dreams I remember. I definitely had a driver's license. I know that. So, bro, I'm dreaming, and somehow Freddy Krueger, who's a demon, they've researched that. Freddy Krueger, bro, was in my passenger seat, right? And I remember from the films, can't fall asleep, Freddy will kill you. So I knew I was asleep. So now that I'm thinking about it, this was a lucid freaking dream, right? So, Freddy, I'm riding around, and Freddy be like, pull over, and he'll pop out. That mark was popping out with them claws, and I mean doing awful stuff to people, blood everywhere. And while he was doing it, I remember in the dream, I'm trying not to look, and I was, afraid.
Right.
And then Freddie would turn around, look at me for improving. I'm like, hell yeah, Freddie. Hell yeah, Freddie, chop that bitch up. You know what I mean? And Freddie, he did. And then man, we drive on. He did it like multiple times, bro. Then Freddie got in like, yeah, I like you. You know what I'm saying? He showed it, bro. He was like, I like you. What I understood was Freddie needed love too. That's what I understood. And all I know is I woke up and I didn't have no problem. Never saw Freddie again in one of my dreams. You know what I'm saying? You got any dreams that stand out that came from your mind's eye, bro?
Yeah, when I was very little, I had a dream that I was going to be standing on the stage and it was going to be people as far as you can see. I mean, forever.
Infinite.
Like, yeah, it looked like. And it happened when I was in Brazil performing with Montu. We performed in front of 150,000 people.
In Sao Paulo?
It wasn't even Sao Paulo. It was
the bigger city.
Yeah. And we was stationed in Sao Paulo, and then we went to man, that's crazy.
You ain't had no trouble in Brazil, bro, because they be talking about all the crime and stuff like that. Ain't nobody run up on you and take your cell phone and jack you and jack you for your papers?
They tried to.
Did they, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't heard none of this. Do tell.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they tried to snatch my chain from me. And yeah.
Where was you? Walking around the hotel? Walking around the resort? What?
No, we wasn't in a resort. We was in a hotel. We was in a little small place, And
was it shorties? Was it a lot of them? One person? 4 people? Were you alone?
They were trying to get me drunk.
Uh-huh.
And then
same thing happened to
and then they was
Jesse.
like, then they was like, oh, you said you was gonna pay for everybody's drinks. I was like, no, I ain't say that. And then you gotta pay this for you leave or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay.
How'd you end up with all these guys by yourself?
It was my people was right there. They was in a spot right there. That's why I was able to be like, nah, this ain't going down like that. And then somebody reached and I was like,
how old was you?
This was in American 90. This was in about 99.
Approximately how old were you? 29?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's similar happened to Jesse, man. He ran off. He was in Kingston. And he started speaking that patois. He said they didn't know he understood it.
Yeah.
And he said they was similar happened to me in Champagne, bro. They was trying to get me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you coming though. You know what I mean? They told me, yeah. So I told him, all right, I'm about to go get some more beer and everything. I'll be right back. You know what I mean? I don't think they ever saw me again. Got me fucked up out here. It was summertime. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We know how to move. So so that dream came true. I'm trying to think if I had some that were more clairvoyant. I do. Something I do, bro. I'm not gonna go public with it. But yeah, all of that came true.
I still have some that I know are going to come true that haven't. I know that they're gonna happen, and they haven't yet.
Yeah, I had some dreams last night, man. So what I did before I went to sleep, I told myself and my higher self, commanded that I'm going to remember these dreams. And I should have just written them down because I was dreaming, bro. And I was waking up and I was like, okay, you know what I mean? And maybe I'll use my phone, a little recording, and just start recording that when I'm, but yeah, it was funny because I told you I don't be remembering dreams at all, bro, at all.
Yeah.
But once I told myself I'm going to remember my dreams tonight, it's that simple, people. It is that simple. I remember them, bro. Like my wife, she remembers almost every dream.
Right.
I'd be like, man, 75 seconds after I wake up. I had one, And I've been doing it, but not in a way that I think creation was asking me. I woke up and I was dreaming about like homeless people. And as soon as I woke up, I heard a voice said, help those people. Yeah, sure did. So now, Self, when I see them and they ask me for stuff, I always give them something when they ask me. Funny thing though, before I had that notion that, hey, I'm gonna give, and it always comes back, right? That I love once I changed, I love people asking me to help because now it puts me in a position to be able to help. Um, they don't ask me no more. Like I used to get out of the car, bro, and like I'll go to 7-Eleven and they're not even out there anymore sometimes. And then when they're out there, they'll be asking other people and they don't even ask me. I mean, I'm not gonna say, hey, do you need money or nothing like that.
Right.
But it's just funny how when you're fighting something, the universe keeps sending it to you. And as soon as you let it go and you give it to creation, it stops happening. You know. All right. Are dreams glimpses? This is the wacky tin hat stuff. Could dreams be, or are dreams glimpses into alternate realities and or parallel dimensions or realms, bro?
Yeah. Yes.
Sometimes.
On parts of many of those, but like the body needs to rest or what have you. The soul and spirit doesn't.
Facts. And you made me think about the dream about R.I.P. Morocco.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was talking to somebody and they were telling me about a dream they had. And then it was almost similar to one I had with Morocco. We were all sitting around playing cards after he had made his transition. And after about 3 hours, or what felt like 3 hours, I'm like, man, Morocco ain't even playing cards. You know what I'm saying, Self? And Flair, man, he played cards with us. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but bro, he was just sitting back there, like to my right, a little bit behind me in a chair. And he'd be laughing, bro, smiling. And this brother, bro, he looked better than I'd ever seen him. He had this glow. He just looked perfect. He looked completely at peace. All us was there. The only difference was we was at my mama crib in the south suburbs, which we never, hung out over there doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? We never did that because we usually stayed on the yard, which I found funny. So it wasn't my high school buddies, it was y'all. And y'all were probably there in the dream state. Y'all were probably literally there. You know what I'm saying? And
Facts.
after playing the cards, bro, I turned around and I looked at him and I said, because what made me do it was, why ain't he playing? You know what I'm saying? That's it. And then I said, bro, I said, man, what are you doing here? I was like, you ain't supposed to be here. And it was some of it was, why are you in my mom's house over? You know what I'm saying? And then some of it was, what are you doing here? And he looked at me, bro, and he smiled. He had this perfect smile, these perfect teeth. He wasn't wearing 4 size, too small Burger King pants, tight on the bump, pushing his scrotum up into his stomach and to the point where his stomach's hurt, where he had to keep the pants unzipped. RIP. But bro, he looked at me, bro, and he said, the only time that we can see each other is when we dream, bro. He sure did, bro. He said, and there's children, bro. People who be having, you call them imaginary friends, or they be having dreams and they're talking to ancestors and people who moved on, and then they get up and look in the photo book and they like, that's your great uncle Tori. Go ahead.
Haywood L. Miller.
You had a dream about him, bro?
Yes, brother.
Wow.
Came to me in a dream.
Wow. Was it, how long after he had passed? Do you remember? Because I don't remember how long it was after Flim had passed.
We were still living on 74th.
25.
Apartment.
Yeah. 74, 25. Yeah.
Not my mom crib, the building.
70. Well, I don't want to give your address. I
Right,
thought that
right,
was
right.
yeah, I got you the building. Yeah.
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 I was just trying to get between me and you. So,
Mm-hmm.
and man, he came to the door while we stayed there, and I opened the door, and he was there, and I mean, perfectly honest, all I could do was cry, and I cried, and I cried, and he turned and he left.
Wow. How do you look, bro?
And he looked like
Normal, regular?
the athlete
Yes.
Caleb Miller,
Yes.
the track.
Yes. Perfect shape, all that.
Yes. And damn, I wish I didn't react like that, but
Correct. I've had those moments, bro. I have had those moments where I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I would have been more prepared. You know what I mean? Yes. Yes. Well, Brother Miller, if you haven't already come to me in a dream and I just don't remember, I'm open and I'm willing for it, Brother Miller. Wow.
so this was really recent after it happened.
Right. Right. Probably before he went on. Some fringe theories suggest dreams are not just unconscious thoughts, but actual experiences in alternate timelines or dimensions. According to this perspective, when we dream, our consciousness temporarily shifts to another version of reality, perhaps one where events unfold differently or where we interact with unknown entities. Could this mean deja vu is a memory from a dream world we momentarily lived in?
I mean, I know within myself, but I postulate that this is a simulation, and that's where deja vu can easily fit in. It's not a perfect simulation.
Well, in the Matrix, in the movie, that's what he said. A deja vu is a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
And it could be breadcrumbs too. Sometimes your higher self or maybe like a protective angel is sending you warnings and stuff like that. And if you're not mindful and deep into your prayer and your meditation, it's gonna fly right over your head. Do dreams allow communications with other beings or higher intelligence? Before you answer that, I don't recall, because there's a lot of spiritual Christians and stuff like that. They have dreams where they encounter Yeshua, um angels and higher beings. I don't think I've never seen aliens in my dream. I've flown, and when I was flying stuff, I was flying through the ether because they say it's like a liquid. And when I fly itself, I couldn't fly like Superman. I've had the fly dream multiple times. It's like I'm swimming. You know what I mean? I'm kicking my legs and you know what I mean? And you're floating up there. That's how it feels when I'm flying in my dreams, bro. But do dreams allow communications with other beings or higher intelligences?
I think it allows communication with your higher self and your subconscious.
Spirit guides, maybe?
All is one. So spirit guides, it's all
Who are you? You folks? All is one? It brought me back to when they was trying to recruit me with the Gangster Disciples. It was all is one. I was like, this sounds universal. You know what I mean?
I'm just
I
saying.
walked out, so I was like, oh, wait a minute. He told me it was a social club meeting, and they were foot soldier. They was in there, foot soldier, salute, foot soldier. I'm like, oh, no, I'm out of here. I'm not, no.
I'm not about that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys ain't running me. Who are you? You know what I mean? Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah, I was the youngest there, too. Hey, salute, all that. Oh no, they was trying to manipulate my young brain, bro. I'm like, oh no, my parents ain't even got it like this. What's wrong with y'all?
Facts.
You know what I mean? Oh, no. All right. But I had been warned by the elders about those meetings. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
that helps. But
Right.
yeah, man, it was really weird. Like they don't force you into it. They tell you about all of the benefits. You know, nobody mentioned you're going to be in jail. You're going to be getting shot up. We're going to have you doing dumb stuff. We're going to have you
Murder,
shooting
death,
at your
kill.
cousin. Yeah, nobody mentioned none of that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? None of that. They had food there, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I had food at the crib. A lot of those kids
Right.
didn't. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Right,
Right.
right. Chips and all. I can get this at home. What's wrong with y'all? Um, some traditions and mystical beliefs propose that dreams serve as a bridge, which is what the universe told me, bro. After that, that's what Flim told me. That's what Flim told me, bro. Some traditions and mystical beliefs propose that dreams serve as a bridge to higher consciousness, spiritual guides, or even extraterrestrial intelligence. According to this idea, symbols and messages in dreams may not be random, but deliberate transmissions from entities beyond our physical world, offering guidance, warnings, or hidden knowledge. If dreams are signals, who's sending them, bro? I mean, these are questions.
Well, if our subconscious is all subconscious, then it's like if our subconscious knows everything, then everybody's subconscious knows everything, which it's one thing that's able to process. And
So you've experienced my dreams and I've experienced your dreams. We're just not necessarily aware of it.
right, because we're in this
Illusion of separateness.
yes,
But it's all going into the ether, which we're all connected to.
yes. Consciousness. You know, they call it our subconscious, but it's really consciousness. It's
Who's sending them?
all connected. I mean, if we're all one, then it is the one that is sending it. It's almost an AI. It's a growing entity. It's growing upon its experiences.
Damn. I'm still thinking about your dream with Wood, bro.
Yeah, I didn't really remember it until, I mean, I remember it. I remember when it happened because it hurt so hard. Because
Yeah.
I was on the road, and I think you told me. I'm almost certain you told me.
Yeah, you wasn't at the crib. Look, here's what happened. The brother had called me, bro. It was Christmas Eve. And you might have been at your wife's crib. I'm not
No,
sure.
I was she had an accident, and it was before she was my wife, and I was on a bus ride. He
Greyhound
came.
bus.
Yep, he came. This was something that really why I was really messed up, because he came. I was into it with my girl, whatever, and he came through the crib, and I couldn't even let him in and hang with him. Like,
What day was that? 23rd? Because the 24th was last time I heard from him.
22nd.
Because he
It
did it
was
on the 24th.
right.
Okay, so it was the 22nd.
Something like that.
So on the 24th, bro, he had called me, bro, and it was like just before he called me, I was linking up with Tasia. It wasn't my wife yet. It was like
Right.
literally the first time like we was going, and it was crazy. Like I had just confirmed with her we're gonna hook up that day. It was like an hour before he called, and he called, bro. He was like, "Yeah, what's up, man? I'm gonna come through, kick it, whatever." I'm like, "Bro, I'm getting with my girl," and he didn't say like, you know what I'm saying? "Hey, man, I need you" or something like that. He didn't say that.
Right.
He was like, "All right, man, what I'm saying? I'll see you next time or whatever." But that was it. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you was gone. It's like if you was at the crib, he'd have came through anyway. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I was going
So you're
with
saying a few
Sherry to
days
get her
before
car.
that, you couldn't really let him in. And then he
Yeah.
called me and he's probably thinking, man, I ain't got nobody.
Well, I mean, that was irrational thought.
Of course, there's a lot
But
of
we know how our brother was.
yeah.
He could be irrational. I mean, that was a rational thought. That was some circumstance that I
But it
was
was
like,
us that was able to calibrate them, bro. You and I could calibrate them like almost nobody else.
no, really you, because you
Yeah,
spent a lot more time with him than
yeah,
I did. Y'all
yeah,
playing the game and all
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. He get irrational and bro, you better go ahead with that. All right. Do dreams allow communications with other beings? So I think we agree, probably yes. Are dreams echoes, ancestral echoes of past lives or ancestral memories? Could be in
I
some
mean, it's
cases.
very possible, probable in some instances, but um, I mean, hmm, could be. That's all I could say. Could be, not could be.
Definitely could be. Yeah, we got to do the regression, bro.
Yeah.
Got to definitely do the regression. A thought provoking theory is that your dreams contain fragments of memories, not just from your personal experiences, but from the lives of ancestors or even past incarnations, bro. If consciousness, to your point, is a continuum beyond a single lifetime, dreams might reveal glimpses of historical events, unfamiliar places, or deeply embedded knowledge passed down through generations. Remember, I told you, you and Sherry that it was going to be a big disaster, a big earthquake, and then that big earthquake happened in Thailand or something like that, and it was a big typhoon the very next day, bro.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And then Sherry asked you, like, how did I know that? And I don't really know, but I have to believe that came to me in a dream that I had forgotten.
It could just also be an annoying, but I feel you. I mean, that knowing that Mandela effect, uh, I have a knowing, so I understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Could they be a form of reality recreate and project into existence?
Almost all of this that's the thing. Like, whatever you focus on happens. So if you want what you desire, or you don't want what you don't want, you're gonna get what it is you focus on.
Some suggest dreams are not passive experiences, but active creations. We listed some well-known dreamers, but I'm sure if you guys start, just asking people around you to give you examples of dreams they had that gave them moments of inspiration, solve problems, I guarantee you, you'll get more data than just these geniuses. Um, but some suggest dreams are not passive experiences, but active creations, realities generated by consciousness that exist temporarily in an intangible realm. Could it be that our minds construct these dream worlds with our own logic, timelines, and even beings that persist beyond our awareness? And if so, could some dream characters be more than just imagination?
I mean, there's we stated more evidence that people who claim that it, all this information came from dreams would clearly substantiate that it's not monkey science.
That's why people tell you, hey, I'm gonna sleep on it, right? Or they tell you sleep on it. Or you're trying to figure something out and y'all been working on it hard, working on your business, hey man, let's just go and get some sleep. And then you come back the next day and somebody's got a proposition and it's all resolved. But you gotta go there, to your point, you gotta put your energy and your mind into it. And then what I would tell people is before you go to sleep, command from yourself that that's what you're going to use your dreams for that night, and you're going to resolve this issue. And I promise you, it will happen.
Yeah,
They've taken our ability. Go ahead. My bad.
I might have been interrupted. I don't know. I tell people all the time I need to sleep on, especially important decisions.
100%, bro. 100%. I think this whole realm is we're super powerful. But those who want to keep control want to gut us of that power and make us sheep when we're all shepherds. That was the principle of the regulators. There's no leader. There's no sheep. You know what I mean? That was the whole principle, you know? No one's bigger than the next person. You know what I mean? There was no president. You know what I'm saying? There's none of that. You know, we all made decisions together, you know, talked it through. And, you know, that was the whole principle.
Pack of wolves.
It's a great plan. I'll tell you that much. All right, I got a video I want to play for y'all. Let's see. What's going on? Self Luv Show production. I know I put. Oh, here we go. All right, I'm gonna play this one first. It's big science kind of, and then we got another one. So fair use.
Always
unreliable. What'd you say, fella?
I think he mispronounced that.
How do you pronounce it?
It says one.
Sure does.
And then there's some stuff after it. So it's
I've never heard that word before.
Right. I don't recall that word either, but upon seeing
one urology.
Yeah.
What did he say? Honorology?
Yeah.
Correct. Well, we pronounce the English, you know what's up? All those words they were telling you were saying it wrong. The English say it the same way we say it.
Yeah.
In Britain.
Because it's our language. It's just that it's a commerce language. It was really expanded here, but they took it because
they pronounce the words just like they're written in Great Britain.
Yeah.
When we come up with this other crap, you know what I mean? And they, you know, and a kid, I'll be listening to people from Britain talk, and I'll be like, man, how you say that word? I was like, I used to say that word like that when I first started reading, and people would laugh at me. Yeah,
motherfucker.
Yes, and they would laugh at you, bro.
A sense of I'm not completely in my vehicle.
But I'm saying you're laying there and you can't move.
Yeah, because I'm not completely in my vehicle because I know I travel and
yeah, we all do.
Right. When I got woke up, you know, I didn't wake myself up. Somebody, and I wasn't all the way there.
You know, I get that sense too every time I wake up, bro. It takes about 10 minutes when those dreams start, those 10 minutes he's talking about, before I'm really out of that theta.
Yeah, and I'm like could not move. So I shook back in there, but I wasn't all the way there. Really getting the because you know there's certain dreams that I found out, oh, this is some BS, and then I can take over and be lucid. And then there's certain dreams that I don't know what I ate or whatever because it's going crazy, and I can be like, oh, this is a dream, and I wake up.
Yeah, I wake up usually almost 95% of the time when I think it's a dream.
Yeah.
When I know it's a dream, I usually wake up.
Yeah, I want to start focusing on taking over the dream every time I realize it's a dream.
Yes, I told you, man. I ain't never tell you. I had a dream recently. Man, me and Tasia had won the lotto, right? And so when I tell you we had done all the planning, all the legwork. We went in front of the media with the big check, waiting when we get this money. When I tell you, as soon as they deposited that money into the account and I saw it and we was about to go crazy, I woke up.
Oh man.
I woke up, bro. We was about to start blessing everybody. You was gonna have everybody was gonna have this, bro. I woke up. But I should have woke up and went and played the foot. That's what I should have did. But I did. All right, hold on. And this is Vsauce channel, y'all. Subscribe. This is Vsauce, fair use, same video. We're just gonna continue on. He's got great content.
Water way up to the tippy top, meaning that the mouse was only able to deprive mice of
right.
But
Can't
as soon
get
as
comfortable.
they reach REM sleep and their muscles relax, they.
You know how many times we probably did that when we was G's?
I know. I completely. Like I did not sleep. You never heard anything or whatever. I slept one time, and then after that, I did not sleep. There was no sleeping.
Man, so sleep deprived through that whole process, man. That's one thing about that.
Yeah.
Sleep deprivation. And all that information my last job, bro. What he's talking about now. This happens a lot when you're in school, you're studying. I'm a firm believer of what he's talking about here. This is real, and they can't deny it.
You can measure
full of anxiety, fear.
During dreams are
And it's very similar to religion.
The dogma.
I mean, it's one and the same. I mean, it's a religion as well. I mean, there are certain aspects that assume to be credible, but
yeah, religion is a science. I wonder how many people brought pledge and was dreaming about getting waxed. I know I wasn't. Well, I was really sleeping, but what I did, I did catch sleep during the day.
Had stronger genes.
Once.
Ask them to tell you what they dreamt, see other people's dreams, and if you ask,
what'd you say?
Said not once.
Not once. Thank God. That would have pissed me off. Got waxed all night in your dream, then you wake up and you gotta go get waxed all night. Oh, that would have pissed me off. See, hold on, I gotta pause it because nobody can hear you, bro. You say what?
Oh, I'm sorry. I said yeah, because like we planned this because we played this. We were way further in the video.
Yeah. When I was younger with my dreams, bro, I don't have all that. I don't have anger and fear and anxiety in my dreams, bro.
Well, honestly, it depends on when I ate. Like if I eat really late and go to sleep, I might have
scary type dreams.
Like some dreams where I'm like, bad stuff happens, and I'm like, wait a minute, because me, can't too much bad stuff happen. That I'm like,
well, yeah, bad stuff can happen, but
then I
does it
wake
create
up.
fear and anxiety
though? It's an attempt to.
Correct. It's different though. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because of where I'm at. I mean, especially after like going through the pledging and just how you just process like all that. I think the dream stopped messing with me like that because it knows that it's not going to work anymore. It's not creating the fear and anxiety we're looking for out there because I don't have that in me like that.
Right.
I don't remember.
It still starts for me. I still get like, wait, man, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, wait a minute.
It's a load of BS.
Yeah. Ain't no way.
Oh, this is happening.
I'm doing any of this. This is going on like this. Ain't no way. And then I wake up.
There'd be a parallel life that you jumped into.
Yeah, it's
parallel reality based off those previous decisions. Maybe we're jumping into those parallel universes sometimes, and then that other universe, the other Tory from the other universe jumped into you. I don't know.
I mean, it's possible, very possible, but I know there's oh, this is not what's going on, and then I wake up, and then I'll be like, okay, yeah, I knew that shit didn't make no sense at all, and whatever, and then go back to sleep or whatever.
Yeah, I haven't had that.
The theory goes like this. Back when we were early humans especially, we had no idea what kind of threats we might encounter during the day. And so, to prepare us,
honestly,
our brain would simulate a consensus. Not everyone agrees on that.
Preparing you, you know what I'm saying? That's what they claim. All that fear and anxiety while you sleep prepares you in the real world to just deal with it more, smoothly. Once you get to a point, man, and you're doing all your stuff, bro, they stopped our stream. We better stop playing him. Should have known better. All right. Yeah. All right. Stop the stream, bro.
I thought it was okay.
Hallucinogenic bedtime stories. Sure, we know.
Hold on, before we play that. Stop the damn stream.
It was still on mine.
Yeah, it's stream unavailable on here. It'll come back though. It always does. Let me see. Close it. Go back in. And let's see. Yeah, it's back up. Nope, stream's still unavailable. Usually don't take this long once we start playing it. Stream suspended for policy. Okay, it's back. Well, see, because it's still playing. I see what you're saying on the delay. But once that stops, it'll come back on.
Right, I got you. Because you made it.
But I don't understand why it's taking so long. Usually starts up right away after you stop playing it.
Be right back.
All right. Come on, YouTube. Y'all tripping like that? All right, y'all. We may be back now. This is some bull. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Stand by. If you even hear this. This is weird, bro. See. Out of hibernation. Okay. All right, we're back, bro. Milk me, because I'm back. The Ace in the Hole is a brand new track. I'm going to slow it up and speed it up. Well, we had another video, but I'm a little scared to play it. Yeah. So we're not going to play it. Damn. It was a good one, too. Well, we're already down the rabbit hole. Let's go down the rabbit hole. This one is Dreaming Breaks Science, y'all. And this is the one I really wanted everybody to see anyway. And someone told me not to play the other one, but it was great content.
Doesn't really know why you dream. We humans know more about solar systems like.
Let's not play the video. Let's just play the sound and see if they let us get away with that. All right, we're going to try that.
Years away than we do about our nightly hallucinogenic bedtime stories. Sure, we know that you mostly dream during rapid eye movement or REM sleep, and we know that REM sleep has a lot to do with forming memories, but why dream in all of this? What is the connection between forming memories and hyper-realistic hallucinations of picnicking with Tom Hiddleston? There's not really any good answers. Science doesn't really know, but there are theories. And every theory usually falls under one of two umbrellas. One side claiming that dreams have a primary function, and the other side saying that dreams are an epiphenomenon, or for those who only know regular person words, collateral damage of other primary functions. meaning it's pretty much just an Easter egg of the brain. The primary function people look at it like this. See, we can observe by hooking people up with wires that during REM sleep, you are most often experiencing negative emotion, particularly anxiety. So these scientists reason that dreams are then to prepare us for threats.
See, anxiety, bro, and I know what they're talking about. I used to have those anxiety dreams all the time, but I don't have them.
So we will be able to act in the midst of anxiety in the real world, claiming that dreams are an evolutionary trait, that early humans that dreamed anxieties were more prepared to face actual events because they have felt the anxieties under maybe different circumstances in their dreams. So the scarier dreams you had, the more prepared you were. The epiphenomenon people look at it from a different standpoint. They have the idea that during REM sleep, the unconscious part of our brain is sorting memories, throwing out the useless information and really dialing in what's important. So the theory goes that the electrical impulses created whilst this is going on is detected by our conscious brain, and our cortex just kind of gets confused with all this noise and throws together a story to make sense of it, creating a dream. Also,
why is it? Why?
Man, they have no concept of the nonsense that they spew in the name of science.
And you know, the Vatican were scientists, probably still are. It's a chance they know more about science than they're telling us.
Because it's your cortex, it will usually incorporate things that you think about often, hence why sometimes you'll dream of...
Science means to know. Yeah, they know.
Being Fed Grapes by Tom Hiddleston. This category of thinking says that dreams don't serve any purpose, and instead they're just a random byproduct. The problem...
We're all random byproducts according to science.
I have with that standpoint is that our bodies have seemingly gone great lengths to ensure we're able to dream. For example, during REM sleep, your brain inhibits motor neurons in the spinal cord, essentially vegetabilizing you while you sleep so you don't act out your dreams. It's like your brain is going...
That's why the people who sleepwalk, they probably... That ain't happening, huh?
You're right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
My cats be dreaming sometimes, and that motor reflex didn't... Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, dogs be doing it.
Yeah.
Out of its way to dream. There are also cases where dreams themselves have seemingly helped people process information, going contrary to the idea that they are purposeless. For example, in 1845, an inventor named Elias Howe had been obsessing over an idea of a machine with a needle that would go through the cloth for you.
Yeah, I want to show you this.
Howie.
Yeah, Howie.
That's how they pronounced it.
Yeah, I said it both ways.
Yeah, you did.
I thought I did. I think I said ho or how. I don't think I said Howie. So yeah.
I don't know if he pronounced it right either, though. So.
Correct.
Period. I think you...
But he had no idea how it would work. One night, he had a strange dream where he was about to be cooked by cannibals. Unfortunately, they didn't have Tom Hiddleston back then. The cannibals were dancing around him with spears, about to throw him in a fire. But he noticed something strange about their spears. Each one had a small...
You think it's an accident they got the cannibals bronze colored? And it's a lie, because the majority of the cannibals by far were not bronze colored people.
Well, I'll just say that whoever invented this invention was swarthy, and they were not. And it might have came from the things that they used in the trap. It came from a dream, but it wasn't no.
He's about to be cooked.
Something strange.
But I might try that, bro. I might try to eat something crazy late and then record those dreams. You know what I mean? And then have days where I don't. And see.
Strange about their spears. Each one had a small hole near the tip. When you woke up, you couldn't get the image of the strange spears up and down motion.
Well, you get the idea.
Out of his mind. He then realized that was the key to making his machine work. Move the hole from the back of the needle, like how it's done by hand, to the point of the needle, like the spears. So it's thanks to a dream that he realized the technological possibility of this sewing machine. Carl Jung believed that dreams had a very significant meaning, and seems to have a middle ground of the two categories of thinking. He stated that dreams are messages
Carl Young was high. I would love to party with him in my
Boy,
20s.
yeah, he was.
He had the best shit. Yeah, he did.
Sent up from the unconscious. In his words, the dream is a spontaneous self-betrayal and symbolic form of the actual situation in the unconscious. The dream is specifically the utterance of the unconscious.
What you said, unconscious, equates to subconscious.
Yes.
And that's quite interesting to me. A little too many big words for my taste, but interesting nonetheless. I think that way of thinking appeals to me because for most of my life, I've had lucid dreams. Allow me to give you an example of a lucid dream. One night, I had a dream where I was locked sitting in my room, but my room was empty, no furniture. I saw a wind-up toy lizard that began winding itself. Once it was done winding, it moved like a real-life lizard. Immediately after that, I thought to myself, yeah, this is a dream. So
it's like what you were saying, you know, how
Yeah.
that bullshit be happening. Like,
Yeah,
wait.
like what the? Oh, wait a minute. No.
My mind's playing tricks on me.
Yeah, because there'd be a whole bunch of craziness going on. You know that I would never associate myself with. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Eh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why's my room empty? A wind-up lizard? What's going on here? Am I high?
I got up, decided my door wasn't locked anymore, went to my driveway where a full dining room set for my Kia was set up, sat down and began having a philosophical discussion with Mr. Beast. Now, according to the epiphenomenon people, your conscious formula.
Shit, this reminds me of when Cartman told Butters he can get him in a dream state. And he had Butters walking around with these goggles on. Butters thought he was, Butters was kicking his daddy in the balls. You know, it'd be a disaster to think you're in a lucid dream, bro, and go walk out of your house, smack 12. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm dreaming. But they say it's a way, bro. They say to be sure, when you're in that dream, before you go running off and jump off the building, hold your nose, cover your mouth, and try to exhale. And they said in your dream, you'll always be able to exhale. You know, put your head in a pool of water and try to inhale, and you won't choke on the water. Then you know you're dreaming. Then you can keep going, you know, with your shenanigans.
Push it.
Formulates dreams while your subconscious is hard at work. To me, this dismantles the epiphenomenon way of thinking and affirms Jung's beliefs, because when I ask my dream people troubling questions, I always get answers from a seemingly new perspective. I don't actively or consciously formulate a response to that question, so by definition, isn't that subconscious? But maybe we're just thinking about this wrong. The epiphenomenon people classify the subconscious as basically anything that's not your cortex, like your hippocampus and amygdala, but neither the hippocampus or amygdala could formulate a thought, like what I experience in a lucid dream. In fact, only one part of your brain can.
Man, he's hitting some points, bro.
Absolutely.
The parts of the brain that they're claiming we're using when dreaming, you shouldn't be able to formulate thoughts. And that's why I was asking earlier, then where are those thoughts coming from?
Yeah, outside of the simulation.
The left hemisphere, or the right hemisphere, if you're a part of the outcast minority that is left-handers. Either way, your brain is split in half. If I were to ask you to solve 345 times 2,
790,
and explain your answer, that would almost entirely involve your left hemisphere. But if I were to ask you to imagine a sunset rowboat ride in the middle of the ocean,
340, I get that instantly, bro. I told you my way of doing math. I take the 350 to 345, I made it 350, and that's 700, and then you subtract the extra 10, and you get 790. And you don't have to do all that the way they taught you math. Carry that and do this and that. No,
I never did.
Yeah, you put it to the nearest round number, and then you could just subtract, the others. And they didn't like that. But that's not the way. Shut up. I got the answer quicker than anybody in here, and the answer is correct. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but that's not the way you're supposed to be doing it. That's what they try to tell you.
Ocean
box.
Yep.
Lock your mind down.
Yep.
Laying in the lap of Tom Hiddleston whilst watching the Minions movie, that's your right hemisphere. While we see activity in both sides of the brain during REM sleep, there's one specific part that lights up, the right temporal lobe, or more inclusively for you left-hand weirdos, the non-dominant temporal lobe. This part of the cortex is involved in learning and remembering non-verbal information.
You gonna keep taking them shots at lefties, bro?
Like visuospatial.
You know what? I know this is an episode, so I'm gonna let them be on that. You know, we use both sides of our brain, and that's why they don't like us and try to hold us down. They've been trying to hold us down forever.
I take it 3. Yeah,
it's
take it.
the programming side. They make you dominant on the programming side.
LLM. Lefties lives matter.
Material, music, and the cinematography of that one Tom Hiddleston movie. Okay, so you are processing information during REM sleep then. That seems clear, but my observations during lucid dreaming seems to contradict the idea that dreams themselves are just collateral. Maybe it has something to do with the corpus callosum, which connects the 2 hemispheres, but then Mr. Beast wouldn't be able to articulate himself. As you can see, it gets messy. Science kind of breaks, nothing makes sense, so let's turn away from science to a philosophical way of thinking to give us the illusion of an answer. Maybe dreams point out a path unknown to the waking conscious, giving much needed heedings of what's to come. In the form of Tom Hiddleston.
I don't know who Tom Hiddleston is, but he sure loves the heck out of him. He had a little thing on there, words. I spent an inordinate amount of time finding images of Tom Hiddleston. I know Tom Hiddleston, when he saw this video, was like, he's probably a lefty too. Like, fuck this guy. All right, bro. Any take on that? And then what's your take on dreams? If you don't have a take on any of those videos that you wanted to hammer out there, what's your take on dreams there, fella?
Man, the dream state can elevate. It's a realm where you can create. If you focus, you can make what your vision and third eye creates. You can bring it from that state on to the real. At least how we talk about
real,
what we feel.
Right. Right. So, because everybody who goes to the other side say it felt realer than this dream state. And, they say all the world is a dream, the world is a stage. People who pass be saying, hey, man, it's felt more real than this. Yeah, I've had dreams, bro, that felt real. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Nah, I've been there from when I got killed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And the dream state is that state.
Yeah. And that's why I think so I feel like it's a bridge. I also feel like, when you do leave, you're going to hit that state. And then when Morocco said, yeah, man, on time we can see each other is when we dream. So then you pass, you transition, you hit that state. Your ancestors, your friends, your pets, whatever, those guides are going to come to you in that state, right? Comfort everything for you and let you know it is love, and what it is all love, and it's all continuous, bro. So I literally think that these dreams, not only are they a bridge, like they keep saying the dreams are preparing you for this state. I think the dreams are preparing us for the next state. So it's not so foreign to us when we get there.
I think it's a real existence.
I
think that this is a simulation or what have you, and it's just a glimpse of the oneness. That's why whatever you focus on, you can make happen in this matrix. And if you are really focused, you can pull from the ether any information that you need.
I think you're right, bro. That's why when you see a poor guy, like not poor, but financially poor guy like me with a beautiful wife, and then I see guys, man, like how's this 5'2" guy walking around with Christy Brinkley and she loves him? Yeah, that person probably pulled something out the ether on himself and just kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. You know what I mean? Kept at it, kept at it.
It's a frequency that we all have, and we come here to espouse it. And those who are focused on what they want achieve their frequency, and it stands out.
Yeah. Like how you can get to the yard and have a super elite beta group elite of the elite. You know what I mean? And you don't have a legacy. You set your intention and you're in. You know what I mean? And then now your son has a legacy. So his reality is already, he's got the awareness of it. You know what I mean? He knows it's possible. He knows it. You know what I'm trying to say? And then guys like us, we were able to will it with our intent, kind of, and it was kind of a laissez-faire intent. Like we weren't bootlicks, you know what I mean? Like guys was inviting us to the house to hang out. Like we wasn't over there just, you know what I'm saying? We weren't cheerleaders or nothing like that.
No, we were recruited. It was like, you know, just brought upon like cool guys. That's why we were there. It wasn't, you know, any fluff involved or any of that.
And I think it was good too. Like I don't know what yours, like it wasn't like, for me, I didn't even want to be no Greek, or I didn't even want to be a brother until I started hanging out with the guys. And I was in the house like, oh, I like the way they get down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like,
period.
I was like, wait a minute. He's the president and you talk to him like that? And I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I like this. But it was in the house though. You know what I'm saying? It was in the house, bro.
I knew Art all my life and I didn't know anything about anything.
That's crazy. And I knew Todd. You know what I'm saying? Just how.
Right.
You know, and then when I met Ock, I'm like, Ockamy. I'm like, man, you related to Todd?
Can't be too many of them.
Man, yeah, bro.
And then his father and my father were best friends.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, when did you know that? You already know him, and that's how y'all knew each other.
I didn't know that until he came on the show.
Wow.
Because I only knew his mom and my mom.
What was your dad's first name?
Ashby.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that. So you can he could probably give you some stories about your dad, bro, that Jazzy couldn't even give you. If his dad was best friends, I'm sure your dad was around him.
Yeah.
I'm sure your dad talked to him. Do you know what I'm saying? Drop some jewels on him. Best friends, bro. Come on.
Yeah, they went to lab together and University of Chicago together.
Wait a minute. You're both of y'all parents was lab scabs?
Yes, his father and my father.
Wow, way back in the day. They had to be some of the
school
only
and
colors
high
in there.
school. Yeah, and my grandparents was at lab. Well, my grandfather was getting a law degree
From
at
UFC.
Yeah. That's how that's how my father got in.
Associated with lab, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Tell you the synchronicities. And what was Jesse's relationship to Ock? Because they was cool. They just met on the yard?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it might have been the trees, but yeah, they was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy how it all came together, man.
Yeah. And Jesse was, he was cool with, driving or whatever. He had the vehicle and all of that.
Brand new IROC. He was riding around like Jordan.
They end up living together.
In Busey, in that dorm in that summer. That's what it was. Remember that tall high rise was at Busey? Yeah. They was living together over there.
I thought they lived in the apartment over the summer together. It was
maybe so, but you're right. But what was Ock's boy name?
Oscar.
Oscar. Yeah, Oscar was over in that dorm over there, and we used to go over there sometime. And Jesse, I think Jesse was in there that one year. Yeah, it wasn't Ock. Freshman year, I think Jesse was over there in Urbana with Oscar and them. And then sometimes we'd go over there, and Ock could be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we met Jesse through Ock. Seems like, yeah, we did. I met Jesse through Ock. Sure did. Yeah. Sure did. Wow. All right, bro. You got anything else to add on anything we talked about before we close it out, fam?
I think the first time Jesse experienced me was at Burger King on Green Street.
Probably his first conscious memory, because Jesse was drinking and high, as we all were.
Bro, that's what he said. He was there, and because it came out later. He was there, and he, he was a bystander. He said, "Oh, he said I got to kick with those guys."
Yeah. 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 We were cavalier, weren't we, bro? Cavalier, bro.
It's a different story for a different time.
Ah, great times, man. Definitely cavalier.
Woo.
A lot happened at that Burger King, bro.
Oh man.
Great times. Great times. All right, y'all. Let's get to the let's get to the poll results right quick. All right, we're gonna jump over to the young poll over here. Man, we lost the few viewers we had when the thing went off the stream. All right. Dreams are 0% feel like dreams are just fanciful lies. 0% said cap. Another 0% feel like dreams are just, entertainment during sleep.
Yeah.
You got 25% rubbing bum on fencers. Okay.
Wagging.
Yeah. They probably they scratching those
bum wagging.
Yeah, bum
right
wagging.
on the fence. Let's say wagging your bum on what kind of paper?
You ever seen a dog scrape his bum across your floor because they got the worms or something? They trying to scratch their bum. You ain't never seen a dog scooch on his bum?
Oh yeah, even when they don't, they got some shit they can get off of their bum. They just come in,
wipe it right on your
across the floor. Like what the hell you doing?
and then they
What the hell's
sniff it.
wrong with you
Yeah,
out
and then they
there?
come behind it and sniff it.
And
The other, if you got another
look,
dog,
and they look at their bum, and then they be like, "Okay, I got that shit up off of there."
And if you
And
got
they're
another dog,
satisfied, they'll go wag and they say, like, get your
and if you got another dog, the other dog comes over and smells it. All right. So that leaves 75% feel like dreams are a bridge to the other side, bro. So where did you fit in? You're a bum fencer? Or are you a
No, I
bridge guy?
wasn't. I didn't want to rub the sandpaper bum. No. Because we need to rub in your bum on the sandpaper because we need somebody to say something out there.
Yeah, you're right. I'll start putting that and I'll put drop comment. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna be rubbing your bum on the fence.
Yeah, out there.
Yeah, so obviously from what I've said throughout the show, I'm a bridge guy.
Yeah.
And I thank Morocco for that. And then you have like when my mom transitioned, a lot of brothers who had already lost their mom, they're like, yeah, she's gonna come to you in a dream. You know what I mean? Like then they talk about how their parents came to them in a dream. And so it's got to be something to that. I mean, I don't think your mind could just now again, maybe I don't know if I believe all dreams are this.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
It seems like some dreams are more clairvoyant and some like I ask myself a question. Let me ask ChatGPT, why do we remember some dreams and don't remember other ones? What's your thoughts on that, so?
Relevance to what you need to do, how to move. Because if how they say this simulation is everything happens at once and it's all just stacked on top of it, you can move and feel and navigate in a different way.
Says if you wake up during REM sleep, you're more likely to remember a dream. If you transition smoothly into wakefulness from deep sleep, the dream often fades before you can store it. And I'd be sleeping good. Emotional and cognitive significance. Dreams tied to strong emotions, to your point, unresolved thoughts or personal experiences tend to stick more than random or mundane ones. The brain prioritizes storing information that feels relevant. And then finally, neurochemical activity. The brain produces low levels of norepinephrine during sleep, which affects memory formation. Since this neurotransmitter plays a role in consolidating memories, its absence makes dreams harder to retain. And it may have something to do with stuff, because I don't believe necessarily that we delete information. It's all there. I believe that it has to do with the creator knows that some people will get lost. They won't know, okay, that's a dream memory and that's a quote real memory. Do you know what I mean? I think maybe that has a lot to do with it. So you forget them so that you can know, okay, this literally happened, as opposed to it was a dream state. I remember talking to Ron Time, big ups Ron Time, and he's got his mental illness. Um, and whenever I would bring up stories, we'd be talking about Ray and talking about hooping back in the day. He'll have this blank look, and then I'll see sometimes I caught a memory in him, and he'd be like, "Yeah, that happened." That's what he would say. He would be like, "That happened," and it was really heartbreaking because I could tell he was trying to discern as to what was really happening in this realm as opposed to whatever was going on up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's it's a trip. There's things going on that we don't quite understand or understand. There's movements and frequencies.
And it probably just can't be codified. You know, um, there's a scripture: through all thy getting, get understanding. Or in this case, through all thy getting, get overstanding. Right. Yeah, so that's something I gotta meditate on. The views expressed in today's podcast are those of the host, guests, and are not necessarily reflective of ESPN or TATN or any affiliates. All right, dreams remain one of the great unknowns of our consciousness, blending science, philosophy, and mystery into a realm where possibilities stretch beyond your logic. Whether dreams, whether they're flashes of hidden memories, previous lifetimes, portals to parallel realities, or simply the brain's way of processing the chaos of walking life, dreams continue to intrigue and challenge conventional thought. From scientific breakthroughs to surreal visions, dreams have shaped creativity, discovery, and even entire belief systems, like religions, you know what I mean? The Mormons. As we close this episode of Dreams Decoded, consider this. And there was a lot of visions by Moses and all of this and that. As we close this episode of Dreams Decoded, consider this. What if your dreams are not just subconscious white noise, but something more intentional? Could the strange characters, cryptic symbols, and fragmented storylines literally hold meaning beyond personal psychology? Brother Wordsmith touched on that. We're all connected. This could be, this could be bigger than me. Okay. This could be bigger than me. Fringe theories, wacky conspiracy theorists, suggest that dreams may be messages and or warnings, or even evidence that our consciousness is capable of more than we realize or have been told. But I do believe big science knows. I do believe the spooks know. If there's truth in these ideas, what does that mean for how we interpret our own dream experiences? So I suggest you guys keep a dream journal. You could wake up, as I said earlier, and just do a recording on your phone and just file those, your dream journals. And I promise you, if you keep going over what you're seeing in your dreams, you're probably going to see some overlap out there. Perhaps the real question isn't why we dream, but what we should do with our dreams. Are they meant to be studied, harnessed, or even influenced? Or should we just, discount them and flush them down the toilet like everyday poop? As we step out of the dream world and back into so called reality, one thing remains certain. The answers may be closer than we think, a lot closer, but only if we're willing to keep looking beyond the surface. So, in the meantime, sleep well and dream even deeper. Stay curious, stay informed, stay aware, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay true to Delph. Also, love yourself and everyone around you deeply. Remember, that's not what our culture can do for you, but what you can do for our culture. Silence is violence out there. Continue to question everything and everyone. The Self Love Show in Kansas, Toto. Peer down those rabbit holes and do your own research. But I urge you, use caution and discernment, because sometimes when you stare into the abyss, well, it stares right back at you. Peace, self-love, gratitude, honor, and respect. Big up Midwest Festivals. They're presenting Ancestral Echoes, y'all. Support, support, support. We want to see y'all there, man. It's all love. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be some Uncle Nearest on deck, all types of shenanigans.
Moving down out of town. We gonna kick it hard.
Man.
That's for sure.
We're going to kick it hard or hardly kick it?
Man, it's gonna be some kicking, like a mule. You better watch out.
He punched like a mule kick. He punched like a mule kick.
This is going down in Pembroke Township.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going down, it's going up. And I promise y'all gonna see something, man. There's a lot going on out there. I promise you.
Man, he showed so many vehicles that are in the sky.
Yeah. You remember that moon self?
Yeah.
Remember I showed you when I was over there feeling myself and I pulled you and I killed that. Did you remember that moon, bro?
Yeah.
It was a completely full moon and it was like, man, it was magical, bro. I should have howled at it.
It was more than one.
It came out of nowhere too, didn't itself? It popped out of nowhere, bro. It was definitely more than one, man. That could have been a ship. I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but all y'all guys would be going down that. Yeah, get your mind, spirit, and body all connected, before you start going down and staring at the abyss. When you move right, you don't need security and all these big strong guys walking around with you, because you will be protected. And you zoom out, everything's the will of Yahweh, in my opinion. Yeah, everything's the will. So it was the same thing Yeshua said: if it's your will, let it be done. Like, so there's no reason to be fearful. People are like, yeah, if you do this, man, they gonna kill you. And if you're gonna do this, and it's a brother, bro, from Chicago. This guy's making crude oil and fuel out of discarded plastic. We're gonna cover that one day. A brother too. He's swarthy. Yeah. And won't surprise you, he said he's been receiving death threats.
Yeah, no doubt. I know who you're talking about. I didn't know he's from Chicago.
Man, he should go public. People were suggesting in the comments, bro, you should just go ahead and just put that out there. You know what I'm talking about?
He said he did. A while ago.
Okay, well, maybe that's why he's still with us, because maybe it's already out there. That's interesting, bro. That we can get his machine and produce our own fuel, and also help the environment to a certain extent, because this plastic is all over the place. But let's get to the riddle, bro. All right, what's today's riddle? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, go live. We're here. Okay, today's dome teaser. Nobody solved it but Brother Wordsmith. Doesn't surprise me. It's probably why he was a head knocker. I am a world within a world, yet I vanish with the dawn. I hold secrets untold, yet I slip through memory's grasp, like water, like holding water. I am both real, that's interesting, and unreal. A story written without ink. What am I, self? This is something all your ancestors were doing, probably Adam and Eve were doing.
Dream.
That's right. He said dream, everybody. The Riddler, not the Diddler, has gotten it right once again. He's gotten it right once again. And next week, you guys, June 20th, we're either going to do 187 Boss, PNB Rock. We've been working on that. Rest in peace, young man. Way that story's evolving, bro. So much more information's come out about that. And then, or Trife Mac, Return of the Mac. We're working to get Mac back.
Man, that would be great.
Return of the Mac. He ain't responded yet, so I got to reach out to Mr. McVeigh. And, maybe he's got some 411. I'm just praying the brother's good. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah. And then Spotty Tricks on Sunday, mouthpiece included. We're going to, you can pull up. It's always an open panel. But if you do pull up,
don't be sensitive. You better bring your motherfucking mouthpiece.
Yeah, because we go there. You know what I mean? I know cats be looking at me on this show, and then they see that show, and they be like, is this the same guy? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's the same guy. Yeah. Balance, people. Yeah, Spotty Tricks. It's a fusion of politics, polytricks, and spots. Okay. So that's what we cover. We do debate. So feel free to pull up. And this brings me to my very personal favorite part of the whole shebang. And I'm gonna get some more music for you too, bro. And that's Wordsmith's final words out there. Uh-oh. Out there.
It's the final word, so fuck what you heard. Rolling through with the flow that's superb. Dreams. Help bring things into this existence through persistence. Subconscious feed conscious intermittence. It's really kind of different. Because you can have that dream. It's so real that it seems that it's in reality. Make it in reality. That's the reality. And it's not casually. You don't know how many times you had a dream. It could be night after night until it seems to enter into your consciousness for you to remember. It's a semblance, echo, retro, persistence into your mind until you let go and bring it into this simulation or be base reality, depending on your persuasion. But dreams can become reality. You don't have to be asleep for you to see them. What you envision, what you want to make happen. Those are dreams while you awake You can pursue them. Make no mistake. You're here. Let's elevate. Dreams help this distance. Even the so-called science say 1 month out the year you dedicate to it. Focus in. Might be what you need to pursue. It's what you came to produce. Pursue it. Make it happen. Leave everything in the can like refuse. Bless you. Words.
Words. I was told by a very good friend, bro, to stop talking. Yet they watch Fox talking all day. Say all we do is talk. And they watch other networks talk all day.
Absorbing somebody else's information, not making any part of their own. They are completely programmed.
Love them though. All right. Great job, bro. Appreciate you. Dre said he'll pick us up, man, when we in Vegas, me and wifey. So that's great. Love that new.
Yes, he's a blessing too.
Beyond, bro.
Yes.
He was there when my mom passed, bro.
No doubt.
Honestly, I don't know.
You know what that means? It's Latin. Means know thyself.
Time is now, my people. We must stand together.
I will eat the right foods that I
Go myself. Stole my health.
I'm glad to be me now and nobody else.
Man, know thyself.
I will eat the right foods that I
Grow myself.
Cause the wrong way
Stole my health.
I'm glad to be me now and nobody else. Yo,
Bullets.
in the code and all the scriptures, potions and elixirs.
Come on, Karen. Bullets. A boomerang.
Stand your ground.
Murder is suicide.
Yeah, well, an eye for an eye.
Silence is violence.
See something, say something.
You want to be a slave? Vibrate greed. Ego. Fear. That's how they make you a slave. You end up in prison.
Okay. I know for sure, charity plus humility times love is freedom.
That's how you get out. Now make the people aware. Do not answer questions.
Question everything.
We've got two who can see. Fear is cap. It's an illusion.
Yeah. Vibrate love.
See if you can hear it. You never die when you breathe in the Holy Spirit. Swine ain't divine, the people they won't go near it. Salad bar, spinning at your avatar here to bring you back to God. Said it just like Master Far sent you. The end ain't always happy.
And forgiveness is love's supreme vibration.
So, do something charitable for a so-called enemy and end a beef.
Healthy people, heal thy people. That's a commandment.
Yeah, because hurt people, for sure, gonna try to hurt people.
Free Larry Hoover, man, like Big Meech.
Free Jeff Ford.
Free all the guys, man.
Prison to slavery.
Check that 13th Amendment if you don't believe them. And be Yah.
Walk on water.
Walk on water.
Man. Move mountains. Oh, Mountain Dew. Yes, sir. Week by week, that mountain is getting weak. It's moving. Look at it.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Being the one is just like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love, you just know it. Through and through. Balls to bone.
Still got them, bro. Got mine. Same, man. Stop snitching on y'allself.
Chi-Town, rack up.
Take school serious.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.